test? Awesome. This is a perfect time to test, actually.
Bork.
Hello, hello. Is it on the right setting, actually? No,
Yeah.
It is?
It's
Okay.
the spherical one?
Yep.
The spherical one is the surround area capture. So that's
Dial
what we want.
911.
Otherwise, it's not going to capture
Lane,
you, but it's going to capture.
Would you be able to get the light switch behind you?
Yeah,
I would like
Liam
to
cannot
s-
see too well in pure darkness.
I don't have to.
He doesn't have. He doesn't.
Oh
have
my
dark
lord,
vision.
it is-
Okay,
That's
buddy.
that might be a
was-
bit much, actually.
Kier
That
does.
was-
It's fine.
Well, it's not
gosh.
like anyone's going to be seeing this light. It's just us.
This will work. Your pupils just need to dilate.
No, I just didn't know
Everyone
whether
here's
like.
a Batman, though. Everyone here.
All right, then turn it off. Then I just didn't know whether it was too dark.
This will
It
help
was
you
too
write
dark.
things down and
It's
read
like,
that.
I turn all the lights on in
Yeah.
my room. People think I'm a vampire, but I'm the exact opposite.
Actually,
I'm a vampire when it comes to sunlight, not
sorry,
artificial light.
that specifically reminded me of the Dark Knight.
That's what
Dark Knight Rises.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes some preparation to do Cedric's voice for a very
Want
long
some of my
time.
coffee?
I'm
Actually,
good.
no, you can't because it's got sugar in it.
Cringe.
And coconut milk. Actually, you can eat coconut milk. That's beside
I have
the
normal
point.
milk.
No, I
On
shut
that
up.
note, greetings, friends, and welcome to Tales of Ithalian, where a group of nerds and odd ducks play D&D. I'm your storyteller, JARON. As this is the 6th session, I'm going to have everyone go around and state who they are and what characters they're going to play. Starting with... Go ahead.
I'm Lane and I play Cedric.
I'm Amy and I play Saaka.
I am Liam. I play Care.
If you've gone through the first 5 episodes without remembering what our names are, I'm sorry for you. I'm Nathan and I play COIL.
I'm Nick and I play Kel.
I'm Levi and I play DATH'TAN.
All right. I don't believe that there's anything that's going to hold us back, so without further ado, get comfy. Let's begin. Last we left off, our group of acquaintances that have now gone under the alias of a mercenary group calling themselves the Menagerie have traveled with a golden tiefling named Lux and his interesting caravan. They have made their way slowly but surely in a long journey to reach the town of CAEDRIK. They have found themselves in a recent slew of troubles, including arsonists burning down parts of the town, and as you all found out, a group of gnolls that had made themselves comfy within the town. And Lux, having decided to stop for a few days, pulled his caravan into the town, allowing the menagerie to do as they wished. At first, they all split apart, looking for the various different things. That is when you ran into the Black Lung Brew, and upon entering, saw that it was filled with the Bygone Guard, the troop that had been defending these islands since many years prior. That's where you met the sergeant, a large, muscular ASMR woman named Hasala. She was quite hesitant at first to tell you much, until convinced that at the moment you were all no threat to her or the town. She then informed you of the threats that were happening, the gnolls in the Mulmirth mines, the arsonist burning down the place, and cut you a deal. There would be silver price for the first job done, which you accepted, taking out the gnolls or at least discovering what they were up to within the Mulmirth mines and reporting back to her. The second, however, was to locate and find the identity of the arsonist and bring her or him back to Hasala alive. The 3 that were there, KELSION, DATH'TAN, Care, accepted this, and you all regathered and grouped back up. Speaking only a little bit, you headed into the mines. You found the gnolls, and the sound of low drums deeper down within the mines. With a low stealth roll, these gnolls saw the mercenary group, and a fight broke out. It led to a few of you being knocked unconscious, but you managed to clear this first cavernous area with the help of a strange orc named Barak, who was locked in a chest in a management room nearby. This orc was able to transform into a direwolf during your fight, interestingly enough. He then took the chance to break out. And he helped you kill his captors. Upon recovering and healing in the battle, and gaining a level up, you pushed down deeper into the mines where you heard the sound of drums only getting louder and louder. You came across and upon a familiar kindness that Care threw out in the form of an owl. They saw a ritual in the making, a summoning taking place. Gnolls, led by a disfigured Gnoll shaman, summoned a bluish-green crackling portal through a sack of flesh and teeth. After this, the shaman detected a presence nearby. The Gnolls prepared themselves, and as you all were a little bit nervous to step in, the battle started with a powerful blast that rocked the entire cavern from CAEDRIK and his divine power. A battle of both impressive skill and teamwork. You all pulled through. The mysterious orc running to the portal, tearing it away, and eating at a human heart within it. The green-skinned tiefling blood hunter DATH'TAN transformed without turning on his compatriots this time. And the purple tiefling cleric KELSION pulled his own weight, killing the gnolls and ending up taking out a very powerful entity that poured out of the portal. You effectively closed it, and you sat in exhaustion. Barak presenting the unfurled flowers of flesh, with a web of veins keeping a heart loosely attached. You grabbed up some items and coin, and stand in the bottom cavern, out of breath, but alive. That is where we left off. Okay. You've all collected yourselves, tired and breathing heavy as this fight comes to its end. Barak's now standing there, still holding the flesh flower that hangs wide and open, the veins falling out of it slowly, the heart's just swinging back and forth. What are you all doing?
So I believe last time I casted Identify on the heart and got some Funsies voice times.
Funsies voice time.
Funsies voice times.
This is what I'll say, because we were going pretty late last time, so I was just trying to wrap things up. Go ahead and make, for this, just a base intelligence check for me.
Base intelligence. 17.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Feels bad.
Okay. What are you all doing? Barak kind of drops this sack on the ground and he goes, I'm going to look about. And you see that he transforms once again into this large direwolf form and begins trotting back up the path.
How is everyone looking?
Beautifully.
With
So
my eyes.
did Barak just like leave? Did he just like exit scene left, stage left?
He exited up the pathway because you guys
So,
walked
yeah.
down quite a ways.
Yeah, he just
It's going to be a little bit.
Okay.
But as Barak requested by the end of last session, he was going to go up into the main cavern and through the other tunnel to see if he couldn't discover anything.
Okay.
So he is scouting ahead.
Well, I'm gonna go through and try to retrieve all my weapons that I threw.
Okay. Easy enough. There's not going to be a check. You are someone intelligent, and even though this battlefield is pretty crazy, as there is blood everywhere around you, and most of you guys are painted with either your own wounds or blood that you had sprayed all over you, it's a nasty sight. However, you do find your spear embedded into the chest of the gnoll that you just threw it right into. You pull that out, find the axe and the dagger that is now just in this black sludge of what used to be this strange creature. And you just pull them out. It is sticky, gross. It smells putrid, almost just like something was burnt and then literally just crapped on. It is not a pretty or fragrant smell.
This is gonna take forever to clean off, isn't it?
It just looks disgusting. Falls off of the weapon bits by bit.
I'm gonna try to.
It's just looking into a black sludge that's slowly falling off your weapon.
I'm gonna try to go over to one of the gnolls and try to wipe as much sludge off.
Sure thing. You just start like grabbing onto like the shoulders and lifting them slightly and begin wiping it off. It's smearing a little bit, but you're getting most of this just clumpy goo off of it.
We're just kind of like chilling, waiting for.
Right now,
we're
you're
waiting
taking
for
a breather.
Yeah. Okay.
Chilling,
Or we're like
waiting,
in like
resting,
the.
recouping.
We're in the main cavern that we were in. Right?
You
Where the
walked into
final
this
fight
very
happened.
bottom cavern of what was, I believe.
So we're still in the place where the ritual was happening.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
You are in there.
Okay.
There's several like large boulders that are about, and there's that still center pit that's
Okay.
in the middle of this donut-like area.
Weren't we going to take a short rest?
Yeah, CAEDRIK's just kind of like
Let's
chilling in the corner.
talk
He's like
about
got
it. I
his,
think we already
he's
just
got
did.
his feet
Did
up.
we?
He's got his hands
Not
up.
really.
Was that
He's just
decided?
resting.
Oh,
No,
No.
you guys, the fight wrapped up. A few things were grabbed and identified, and that's when we left off.
CAEDRIK's just
I
gonna
thought we
take a
had
nap.
discussed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Saedric
That's-
just kind of sits down, leans up against the stone wall, crosses his arms, and just begins.
Before we get too comfy, shall we get out of here?
I agree.
There may be more.
Do you really think there's more?
Should we go back up and go check?
There were 2 other tunnels. We do not know if there are others down there.
Well, it depends. Do you want to go and rest somewhere safe, or do you guys want to go through the other tunnels to make sure?
Well,
We could even return now that we've actually done something about these gnolls.
we don't need to really play hero anymore. We can just head back and tell them what we found. At least let them know that we've eliminated a couple of the gnolls, and whatever that was.
Was more than a couple.
If any of you have something sharp, I would suggest taking trophies for the sergeant.
Fingers or ears?
How about a whole head?
Sure.
Too much weight.
I will carry a head.
Where's Birdman?
That is the pile of
Sludge.
sludge that you
It
saw.
is
The purple tiefling
Ah.
kind of lift into it, and as like he lifted the axe, you see that he kind of had a recoil as a bit of it just flew up and almost got in his hair.
Where's Shaman?
Shaman is within the tunnel, a little
Okay.
bit behind you guys. As you guys, he kind of ran up to your guys' area,
Yeah.
and so where you were standing, you walked into the cavern and sat down. If you go back into the tunnel, the large, almost 10 and a half feet tall knoll is just lying on the ground, face first.
May I decapitate it, please?
You have a hammer.
Oh, I have a hammer. Shit.
Shove you
Can
aside.
I have a
mush.
I have an axe.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you could take time with an axe. I'd say make a survival check or a dexterity check. I'll let you decide.
Oh, that's not one of the.
I think letting
one of the
So
sharp.
survival
Big
is like
scary
speaking, but if you're trying
either
to decapitate a
suck
clean
or
cut.
I'll let one of the,
That'd be
I'll just let
scary.
one of the people
Let-
with the smart with the sharp stuff do it.
Wait, didn't I already decapitate one of them?
That was the large orc, but he just.
Okay. I thought
Which at this point you see the direwolf slowly returning down the path and beginning to transform back into a humanoid form, leaning against the cavern tunnel wall, bleeding and heavily wounded as he kind of steps forward. He looks to you and he goes, "There's none left," as he flicks an arrowhead out of his shoulder.
Something.
Excellent.
There wasn't anyone else down there. This was from the previous fight. So anyone can heal.
I'm out of spells.
I'm out of spells too.
Clerics.
I'm sorry, I don't do practical.
No, he's
I do
sitting
magical.
He's sitting at 3 HP from the previous fight.
I have nothing.
Yeah, I'm out of spells. So
No, it's cool.
I don't got a medicine kit on me.
Other tunnel. There's a small hole in the pathway. There's bodies in it. They were,
How many?
What type?
they were townsfolk by my guess, but they're skinned alive.
Probably what they used to make that flesh
Ritual.
hard.
That would make sense.
That's
Sound
cool.
advice,
I'm gonna
you
sit
know,
down.
those. Yes, you sit.
You can rest. Yeah.
We are returning back to town if you would like to come with us.
You see, as he's like going to like rest on a boulder, he slowly turns over his shoulder at you. He just turns around. Yeah, sure. Slowly begins walking with you.
Do we still know who this guy is?
He ain't hurting us, so I'm not concerned.
Yeah, he's not attacking us, so I mean, why not?
Well,
We have an enemy as a friend, no.
I mean,
not
okay.
necessarily.
You know this. I'm right here.
Why are you here? And who are you?
My name's Barak.
There we go.
I was taken by my friends some time ago. Went out for a walk, got jumped by gnolls. Can't imagine Jesse will be very happy when he sees me.
You know Jesse?
You
One
know
arm
Jesse?
portal?
See, he looks around you all with a very now quick suspicion, and he goes, "What's your relations with them?"
They traveled with us for a while. They joined our caravan
Wow.
looking for a friend of theirs.
They moved on.
They were looking for someone in heavy armor, a friend. Would that be you by chance?
You see, he looks at his large gauntlets, his large hammer, and just his size and shape, and he goes, "Last time I checked."
That.
Plot twist of the century.
You do remember that it was a large orc that they were looking for specifically.
Why did we put 2 and 2 together?
We were busy fighting
We
the
were-
gnolls.
We were fighting gnolls.
Speaking of, Saaka
Got locked in
leaves
the
your
damn chest because they thought
conversation
it
and
was
just
funny.
starts decapitating all of the heads randomly.
Wasn't too funny when I broke out.
He
That one wasn't
doesn't.
laughing.
He's silent.
Are you going to carry all of the heads?
I mean, we only really need the shaman's head.
Yes, but this is fun. She just goes around and goes to every knoll, starts
Okay, yeah.
chopping
So
them
everyone
up.
has
Dex
their stress
or
relief.
strength, either way, it does not matter. You're not skinning them, you're just chopping.
Just chopping. It's like firewood, but with heads.
Not quite.
It's like firewood, but with cartilage.
And blood involved.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Wood.
Chopping wood,
Not really.
but then he added
18.
excitement of a fountain.
18. How many are you trying to collect here?
She's just wanting to have fun with it. She just needs one or two.
So you see that she, in a much more enjoyable way than you would imagine someone would take in a job like this, she lifts one up just so she can get her blade under the throat and just begins sawing slowly at the neck with her great sword.
I think she likes this a little too much.
Just click
One
the
by
left
one,
ear.
like as you feel it
She's-
Me
catch,
too.
you grab onto the other end of the blade just at the other side of the head and pull up as hard as you can, just slowly in a very not graceful way, just cutting through the head, the neck, the bone, until some of you guys can hear a sickening, but for you, satisfying in the head.
Coil throws up
Falls on
in
the
its
ground.
mouth.
It's like a power move, guys.
I'm gonna grab Coil by like the back of his hood and then lead him kind of like a little bit ways into the tunnel.
You see that as you all are slowly walking, that the orc kind of speaks up and he goes, "Barak, by the way, and I have a question. Why is there a child in this cave
We
fighting gnolls?"
I've been asking this ever since I met them.
yes.
They won't answer me.
They won't answer anyone.
So I'm just cool with it at this point.
Look, is there something we don't know about this kid and he's just stronger than all of us? Because I have several questions.
Wait, really? Is that what's going on?
Pretty sure it's just a kid.
I'm sorry, my laugh just entered lawnmower mode.
I will not let him leave my sight. He is important to me.
I mean, important enough that by the time I saw him, he was up the stairs with a gnoll at his side.
I look at him, both in mixed frustration and pride. He is brave, but not yet learned.
He's dumb.
I had a plan, okay?
Plan that would have gotten you killed. Do you understand this?
He just shuts up. He is sad.
There is nothing wrong with having a plan, but this is something that you may need to ask someone that is bigger and stronger, with more knowledge first.
Not this one though. She cuts heads off for fun.
And also, tell people before
Make
you
sure
run
it's not
off.
yours next.
How many are you going for, by the way?
You were
Because
busy
they said that
hiding
they are
under
slowly
the rock.
moving, and you are still just in the
Well,
cavern.
once I see
You
them
did
starting to
kinda
move, I'll just kind of...
Okay, so you get at least one.
Yeah.
You ran too, just in the other direction.
I have the same range that you do. You would be wise to be equally undesiring to be next to an enemy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go up ahead and go check the other cavern again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you.
All
This
right.
is weird.
Yeah. I go pick up the sword off of the Null Reaver and cut off his left ear.
Okay. So you head up back into the main center chamber of this mine, heading from the left tunnel. You enter this place, and you see the Reaver just lying on the ground. You walk up, take the helmet off of him, look around and find the dark black sword with serrated edges right by the hilt and the silver pommel. And you just, with one quick cut, take the ear right off. It's dark and rusted, but it is quite strong and still sharp.
What kind of helmet is it?
It is nothing fancy. It
Okay.
literally looks like pieces of scrap metal have been just almost melded together to be placed over his head.
So it's like a raider type thing.
In a way.
Okay.
It almost looks like that of just a very basic Viking helmet. So it's like a top helm, has two little slits for the eyes, and just enough to come out to the snout and cover the top part of the nose.
Okay.
But that's just about it.
All right.
We checked the crates, but did we check up the ramp?
I
The direction that Barak came from?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna go check that out just really quick.
Okay.
Coil raises his hand. Couldn't we have just brought the helmet?
As proof? Not necessarily. It might be important to the sergeant that they know for sure what went down.
It has the snout they need.
Go on, Dad.
They might have needed proof that we had performed our job. The messy side of it. You will understand in time.
God, you suck with kids.
CAEDRIK wants to go check the other tunnel and just see if he can see anything that Obama missed.
So you walk to the tunnel, and it is much like the other one, except it is leading upward instead of down. From this angle, it simply curls up and to the right, and then turns left after what seems to be about 50 feet.
Okay. Do I have like? Can I can see correctly, correct?
Yeah, you have
Okay.
60 feet of dark vision. You
Okay.
can see the end of this tunnel and the curve.
Okay. I'm
But nothing
just
past
gonna
this
walk
corner.
it, and as I'm walking, I'm gonna be like every 2 seconds checking to make sure I'm not gonna fall into a hole of dead bodies.
Yeah, so just like the other tunnel that you have realized is even within these 50 feet or so, you see off to the right that within this, it is not like hard or stone. It is overturned dirt with like small pebbles and rocks. within
Okay.
it. It is very soft and pliable, and you can feel your feet slightly sinking in as you walk.
Okay.
Off to like the right and left, there's offshoots in different tunnels that just begin spreading and shooting outwards into different locations. It's as if people actually like fell through in these certain parts of mining and are like, oh, okay, so let's just start here, and then just began their own
Okay.
branches within this.
Okay.
And The weird thing though is even in the ground as you get up to the corner, there is a small hole right there that looks like maybe one man could fit into and begin working downwards. You feel like these people are desperate enough to just find coal wherever they can.
Okay.
As was mentioned before, it is one of their main sources of income at all to even keep this town running.
Okay.
They are willing to go anywhere to find what they need. But you step over, even for your shorter dwarf-like legs and stature, you manage to get over this small manhole. I won't be mean and make you any check that you just fall into this one. And as you turn the corner, it is a straight offshoot. And at the end of another, what looks to be 60 or so feet, several different like branching off paths to your right and left, there's a ladder leading straight up.
A ladder leading up.
Yeah, it's like, it looks older, a bit rickety, and you can tell it is literally just like, with the two sides of what you could be convinced is just like pretty much a mop handle, just going up the entire way. There are just thick wooden and, of course, I'm forgetting the word right in a moment. Just whittled down sticks that are big enough to actually be used as the parts to climb up the ladder.
Okay, I'll climb up.
Okay.
Screw it.
So as you begin climbing up, it is very nerve-wracking as you are a dwarf in heavy armor with a weapon. Beginning to climb, it immediately sinks an inch or two into the dirt. But you slowly begin to climb. I will say, due to the weight that you carry in comparison to others, go ahead and make a dexterity check.
Dex?
This is more or less for you finessing your way up this ladder without just like a gorilla. 8. Okay. I wasn't going to make the DC high at all. This was in case you rolled like a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
But you climb all the way up. At one point, you do notice that you kind of grab onto one of the steps of this and it snaps up above you, so you have to skip a step on this ladder.
Okay.
But nothing that would impede you completely.
Okay.
You get up to the top, and at this point, as soon as you get up, like even when you're beginning to crest the highest point, which this ladder, it does lead about 30 feet up. And you are kind of nervous that it's going to like tip you back and slam you into the other side of this wall that you hit.
Okay.
But as you begin to even reach the top, the wafting smell of decay and just rancid death hits your nose. You swear that it could almost burn the tips of your beard. It is this bad. As you get up to the top and begin walking, you see a much wider hole just in the center of this tunnel alone. And this tunnel seems to like slowly snake a bit before taking a hard corner left. But right in the center of what looks to be about a 40 or 50 foot tunnel is a massive hole.
Okay. Is it a hole that I could walk around?
No, it is dead center in this tunnel. Like this is one that you'd have to hop over to even continue in the tunnel.
Shoot.
And there's, like I said, offshoots to the left and right.
Okay. So
and you do notice that these offshoots seem to like curl and turn themselves, so you think that they could interconnect, but you have no idea if you could navigate this place as well as you think you could.
If I can't go forward, I wasn't going to keep going. I was only going to keep going if I could continue going forward. I'm going to look down in the hole and just see if there's anything that,
as you
that like sticks out.
And look over, you think you have found what Barak was talking about. As in this, it is unlike the others that look to be almost like this pill shape, just slowly going down, maybe meant for 1 or 2 people. This is a whole bowl or a pocket, just a amount of dirt that was scraped and turned away just to make room for the bodies that are now in it. And what you see are not done well at all, flayed human bodies. Pieces of skin are like still on them, but it looks like they were just cutting until they could peel a chunk away, and muscle and sinew is just gone from certain parts of them as they're just like torn apart. These gnolls just were going at whatever they could grab, which helps explain the just sinewy mess that was the sack during the summoning that you witnessed.
Okay.
Looking at it, you notice that. Go ahead and make a medicine check before I continue. That is just a very base thing. But these people are like torn apart, their body, muscle, tissue, everything.
A 10.
10. You do notice that with some of them, they're like mouths hanging agape, that some of their teeth are missing. Along with several of them have what looks just in the center of their chest, a whole hole just carved right out of them. You see just cut and bleeding entrails, lungs, their ribs are broken in these areas. but as far as you can see with a decent passive perception, just looking in, most of their hearts are missing.
How far am I away from everyone else?
Well, you walked up 50, walked another. You are several hundred feet away.
How far am I away from the ladder?
From where you are, because this is about a 60-foot hall, 50, 60, you're 30 feet in.
30 feet? Okay. No, I'm good.
Not gonna go spelunking in corpses.
No, I was gonna blow it up.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
I don't want to leave any of this. This is like awful.
Anyone want soup?
Oh.
You're more like chili.
Oh.
You
Wow.
jam. I think the Tempest Cleric would have to change his archetype if he did that.
I'll walk around.
Becomes
I
a
will.
blood cleric.
Grave Cleric. Just
I cast Raise Dead on him. How far of a? Nope. I'm gonna turn around and walk back.
okay. Go ahead and make a dex check for your way down the ladder, just for the sake of it. As you walk down and you climb on and begin moving down the ladder.
You failed,
Okay,
fall
that's
down the ladder,
fine.
make a new character.
Yeah. Roll a new character. As you begin going down, it sinks in about another half an inch, so you feel it start, and you are so scared. But at this point, you've actually planted it so firmly in the ground that it's not teetering at all.
Okay.
So you actually make the climb down much easier than the climb up.
Okay.
Making your way back will take no problem, just a few
Yep.
minutes. And in the time that he was doing that, are any of you speaking or doing anything?
I was
This is
checking
meanwhile.
the up the ramp and there was that
Understood.
room.
Yes. So as you climb up the stone carved steps up into the much more rectangular stone platform that's right in front of the tunnel, you look and it's maybe like 20, 25 feet, so not far at all. You walk your way down and there is no light in this place, but does not bother you as you have dark vision. As you walk in, it is a very, very bland and basic setup. You can tell, once again, nothing in this town is very fancy. Absolutely nothing. Even as was at least mentioned before, some sort of... this looks like a room of management. At least someplace where the boss or someone here was talking the rules. There is a center, because for most of the tunnels, there is the wood pillars and beams that help support it, that keep it up. There is one tiny beam right in the center of this place that has a smashed lantern hanging from it, completely out. Past this center beam, there is a table that is broken and smashed inward. There is like nothing fancy. It's not like a double deck or something like that that could have many slots that would hold any sort of paperwork. It is literally just a wooden table that looked to have a map of this place, but it is torn to shreds and broken in. Nothing that could be salvageable. There is what looks to be a cabinet that is still in it on the side that is intact, but that's it for the table. It's kind of done so.
I want to check the cabinet.
Okay. Just looking to your left, you do see what Barack was mentioning, as there is a chest that is now on its side and open. You feel like it's rectangular, 4.5 feet long or so, and you can kind of see how he could have been stuffed in there. But you also notice that the hinge is completely snapped and broken off, and the top part of it is chipped away and broken in some areas, as this orc blasted out of this thing as soon as he had the chance to. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
13.
13. You go up to the cabinet, and even then it's like at an angle, like dug into the ground. This table was like snapped in half, and one was just moved a few feet off to the right, and the one to the left is where you have the baseboard and the cabinet itself. You pull it open. It looks to be just a few papers in there. It's not like a filing cabinet or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is just some papers lying about. Grabbing them, taking a look at them. They just seem to be notices or certain plans. It looks like this guy was a bit disorganized and therefore was just writing down whatever he could, just to keep note to himself of what he's wanting to do and plan. besides that, it's not much else or anything of interest. It's just whatever this guy could probably write down and throw into his cabinet just for a later point in time. Several of them do mention that they need more supplies or more of this and that, but then there's like even side notes saying like, well, that's not new or something like that. So as if he's just making notes for himself and having a self-argument on a sheet of paper. However, that is really what is in this room. There is nothing else of note. As you look about, it's just more... this one's a bit more of a harder-based ground. There is no soft, overturned earth. It is just bits of dirt on the sides and corners of this room of stone.
I want to drag the crate, the chest back to like the ledge area.
Back to the where you entered.
Yeah,
sure thing. So you drag it. It is a bit broken, but it doesn't like fall apart. So you just drag it on one end, take it out. There's nothing in it. They probably removed or took whatever it was that was in there and stuffed an orc. As you walk back out to the rounded out rectangle of a
very
platform,
edge of the platform,
you drag it right out there, and you all hear the as he drags it through the earth and dirt and brings it right to the edge. The smiling green tiefling with the dark irises, and you can just barely make out the color of his eyes as he looks to you all and like kind of waves his hand. Everyone looks up and Barak just looks away.
Hey Barak, how did you fit in there? Like, I'm actually wondering that.
They stuffed me in there.
Yes, but how did you fit?
They curled up my legs, tied me up, and they threw me in there.
I kick it off the platform. I don't see it.
As it hits the ground, as it was a 40-foot drop,
Yeah.
it explodes everywhere in wood chips and pieces.
What's
and Brock
planned?
just stands up, and he looks up to you, and he goes, I guess you're going to have to see the magic trick sometime else.
Yeah, I guess.
Pieces just fly everywhere, hit some people's ankles and legs. Doesn't do damage, but it stings as it hits off your clothing or just exploding onto the rocks and stone wall.
Alright, I'm happy now. We can leave.
What are the rest of you doing?
Before we go, I'd like to approach Care. So, I know from what I know, your magic is a bit more arcane than from divine.
Yes.
I think I remember hearing a spell or something to sort of create an image. Do you think you could do that to show what we've seen here? Something of that demented beast that they somewhat summoned?
I could definitely do that, yes.
I know SAAKA had her fun with the head of a gnoll, but I'd like to have a bit more proof that we're not just making this up.
We can bring the pieces of the heart if we want to. Stuff it in a sack.
Yeah, that should work, but still having, I think, a bit more of a visual on what they summoned, because I don't even think I can describe it accurately.
I can do that.
I would like to actually take the sack, take a sack and shove the bits of the flesh egg from which
It is
Barak had
somewhat connected.
the item of many
So
different
these two
descriptions.
petals that were like intertwining and interwoven around each other now just lie open and loose as just like two. At this point, they almost look like a part of a butterfly wing, just rounded off, but they are just made of flesh and blood from the interior and out, and each one stretches out to almost 2.5 feet long, much longer than you'd think. The veins that now just lay loose across it, just like tiny, tiny tentacles that just stretch out, just almost thick cords of veins that now lie about everywhere as the blood pools out, and the heart that's connected to one of these stretches of veins just looks to almost be a deflating ball as it slowly is just still pouring out an oozing amount of blood that is still spreading. But you go back down and you grab it? Because I don't
Yes.
believe anyone picked it up and carried it with them to the main cavern.
Would have been nice if we could have put it in a chest.
The
Hey man.
cloth sack is gonna work better than hauling that heavy chest everywhere.
So you go and grab onto it. The smell is not good.
So you know,
It's
like when you're
heavy of
picking up
iron.
like dog poop, where like you take the sack inside out
Mhm.
and then you
Ah,
grab
yeah.
it. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Put the sack inside out.
It still does not smell good.
Oh no, I'm sure.
It is absolutely disgusting. Like most things so far in this entire mine. You take the two pieces of the sack and like overlay it with the heart and scoop it up. A little bit of blood still dribbles out the sides as it is loose and no longer tightly wound. And it gets onto some of your hands and part of your arms and begins staining your clothes as you slowly bring it up.
Coat can't get much more stained. It's fine.
There's probably a spell for that. You wizards have a spell for everything.
That's the goal, yes. Shall we depart?
I don't see any reason to hesitate.
See, as you say, that rock just stands up and slowly, with a limp, begins walking towards the tunnel to begin moving upwards.
You grab the head, yes?
Mhm.
Okay.
I also have
You do
in
have a
here.
null head.
Cool.
Going to take inventory of what you have collected so far.
He's
As who
writing
knows,
things
you may carry this for years to come.
down. Oh,
Good. Better not.
I mean, you guys have a pound of displacer beast fur, and like 3 of its spikes and 3 teeth.
I have a tooth.
Yeah, but
Teeth.
Aneth also grabbed some, so it's in total between the two of you.
Oh.
So also a null head.
No head.
That thing's gonna deteriorate so poorly.
An ear.
Ear.
Yep, null head. One null ear.
We come back to
You guys are gonna look like psychopaths if someone ever rifles through your stuff.
That's the goal.
That's
then
the
they'll
point.
scare
There's a
them
difference
away.
between like a mercenary bringing in like a kill versus you guys who have pieces of everything. You guys are gonna make a Frankenstein a year down the road.
That's the goal.
That's
we go
the
bring the
dream.
null head to them, and it's like
on.
mummified.
Guys, he found our secret plan.
Yeah. He figured it out.
Mummified displacer null.
That's
That's
terrifying.
beautiful.
That's amazing.
An aberrant.
I will raise it as my
Monstrosity.
own.
You have a playmate.
I'll teach it to
Oh,
play.
death.
Of death.
It's like a
This is
disorder
my
sword.
stance.
Okay. So, you are all moving out of this mine.
Mm.
Okay. I'm just asking if anyone's hanging back doing it.
No.
Okay.
I want to get out of here.
Agreed.
So you collect yourselves and head back through the tunnel.
Am I with them?
I'm assuming at this point
Okay.
you would have caught up because we did DATH'TAN's thing about the same time you would, and then
Okay.
these guys. I will say, as this happened, as both these, you wouldn't have taken too long. You would have taken a little bit of time to climb up, kind of
Mhm.
examine everything you did just by your eyes
Mm-hmm.
alone, and then walking back. This was about 30 minutes, so if you guys want to take a short rest, I will allow it. So if you guys want to roll your hit dice and do some of that, go ahead and do that now.
Can I use my Song of Rest feature?
Of course.
Cool.
You are of the right level, I believe. That's a
Yeah.
3rd level thing.
No, it's second level.
Second. Yeah, there you go then.
Alright, so when you roll, if you're choosing to burn any hit dice, you get an extra d6.
Ooh.
So yeah, if you guys are rolling any of your hit dice, roll an extra d6 with it.
Yeah.
Bards are great.
Yeah, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Are you taking a short rest as well? Mark?
No.
No, you're not? Okay.
What kind of song was it?
Speed metal.
On mandolin.
Just filthy guitar licks.
On his mandolin.
They also call him Slash. That's his other name.
It's no, it's like a lullaby.
A very low and melodic sound and rhythm comes from him. It's very lulling, and at some points, actually
Saedric almost
puts
falls
you to
asleep.
at certain points, but it is helpful. And you find yourself as you take a breather and rest, and some of you pull out just small bits of cloth or bandage to try and patch yourselves up. You find yourself at a rest. All right. So, as you head out the tunnel, you make your way out the mines, and it doesn't take long for you to hear the rainstorm beat down on the ground and on the mine itself as it's still going. You feel the cold winds brush past you. The rain is not letting up. Still giving just the absolute beating of wind by the time that you slowly make your way out of the main tunnel, and gray skies with the heavy rain just coming down along with the thunder and lightning. You exit the cave and head back towards the town.
What time is it? Or like what? Like by the sun?
There is no sun.
Well, I mean,
It is
like
gray clouds in the sky. It is more not of like where the sun's position is as how dark is the gray right now.
Pretty much.
I'm
stupid, so
yeah. I would say that you just do not know.
Okay.
You guys came here about midday. Didn't take a rest and didn't go to sleep. A day hadn't passed. You just decided to take the job. And you may not be the brightest, but you do feel like you were down there at least hour and a half.
Okay.
Maybe more. You would know that you were there for about 2 hours. So it's about 2-3 o'clock right now.
Mhm.
As you walk into town, still beat up and tired, you look about yourselves. Yet another endeavor survived with these strangers. And you do feel that as you kind of take side glances or even meet each other's gaze every once in a while, that together you have all accomplished some great things and think as to what battles you are to face together in the future. No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You do see that as you head down the main road in one of these offshoot lanes, a thinner road coming down your way as the rain beats down on all of them is Jesidiah and Brulda are walking through the rain-soaked road. The mud is just getting up to their ankles. Jesidiah does not care or is fazed by this weather. Brulda seems to be reacting a bit less so as her fur or hair and coat is just matted down and soaking wet. She looks a bit like a wet dog as she walks up. You see Barak kind of go, as Jesidiah approaches and he goes, Barak, didn't I say that wandering off would be a dangerous affair? He looks Barak up and down. He goes, well, say something. As he stares at him. Barak doesn't really say anything, and he just looks to him and he goes, look, old man. And Jesidiah smacks him with his side of his club and he goes, I didn't say to address me like that. And you actually see Barak looks a little bit fazed and he goes, sorry, Jesse, I went for a walk. That's obvious. And I was jumped by a bunch of them. Also concluded. You see that Barak just kind of sits there a little bit sheepish at this point to even respond. Jesidiah just shakes his head and he turns to the rest of you. He goes, well, thank you all for finding him. He can be a handful, but he's good folk. You all get rest now. It looks like you could use it. He looks back for Barak. As for you, we're rolling with some good folk. I'll tell you when it's time to go. You just be useful and stay out of trouble. He then slowly turns, looks to Brulda, who just looks to Barak, and they both just share a small nod. And Barak, sheepishly taking the back now, follows Jesidiah as he goes and goes, Brock, this reminds me of a time. You see Brock just hang his head a little bit. To follow.
Are they walking towards the town?
They were already in town. You guys have entered through the
okay.
eastern gate, and they were kind of walking up to the gates.
Okay. Cedric wanders off because he wants to hear Jesse's story.
As you follow, you do see that Jesse like kind of stops, and he like turns and goes, I was actually gonna, and as you walk up, he says this, come and see if I couldn't lend a hand. When I heard your troubles, sorry I don't move that quick.
He's talking to me, right?
Yes,
No.
you're the one that approached him. He goes, I did have another reason as to why I was looking for you.
Yeah, what's up?
The fine gentleman Lux is requesting to speak with y'all.
Sounds good.
Very good.
Thank you, man.
No problem. As I was saying, Barak, as he just turns and begins walking,
I'll head back to the other people.
you quickly turn on your heel on the muddy road and begin walking back.
Mm-hmm. And
It only
Okay.
takes
Yeah.
a few moments before you're ready.
Hey, Jesse says Lux wants to speak with us.
Well, we should probably head to the sergeant first, report him what we've seen, then head to Lux.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I nod.
Okay.
Let's go find Hasela.
All right.
I imagine she's back at the tavern, so I imagine we head there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you do notice that as you are walking around at this point in the day, several townsfolk are beginning to rally together and are marching towards the western part of town where you guys are heading. Groups of people clumping up and heading in the exact same direction. A small cacophony of angered voices and glaring tempers rise above the weather as you begin heading the same way they are heading. As you end up following them, you good?
No.
Okay.
No.
You reach the road where the tavern bar of the Black Lung Brew is. The whole crowd now surrounds the front porch, calling and crying out in fear and anger. Standing out on either side of the porch are two Bygone Guard, somewhat shaken but doing their best to not blatantly show fear. Standing in the middle of them on the porch is Hasela. Stands there unflinching as she looks about the crowd. She rests her hand on the hilt of her blade and waits expectingly for them to quiet down. After a few moments of the noise only getting louder, she rolls her eyes, draws her large flintlock pistol and points it in the air looking at everyone. Immediately the crowd falls silent before she even pulls the trigger. She, looking pleasantly surprised, places the gun right back in its holster. Now, what can I do for all of you people today? She calls out, a tired smile spreading across her face. There's a bit of silence before a few voices call out, Are we safe? Are the gnolls going to attack? Another voice shout out, Have you caught the one who has burnt down our buildings? The rabble slowly begins to pick up before Hasela raises her hands, and the quiet down once again, and she begins to speak. We are doing our best to ensure that you are safe. The gnoll problem is being dealt with. I have men on the job who are going to take care of it. As for the ones who caused these fires, we are looking for the culprit. But rest assured, we are not going to give up until we have caught the ones responsible for this. We will try and have your firebug caught soon. A silence is slowly emanating once again before more voices begin to call out and can be heard. What about our homes? Hasela breathes deeply before speaking. We are not here to rebuild your homes, just making sure that you are kept safe and that none of you lose any more of your homes. It is the best we can do at the moment. Before she even finishes the sentence, she is interrupted by yet another voice saying, "We're starving! When can we expect supplies to come in?" Hasella's eyes dart frustratingly around as the crowd begins to once again grow. She goes, "We are all hungry. There isn't a person right now who isn't in the same boat as everyone here. The roads are dangerous, and with the possible danger that they can be in if they should come to Kraldirk, there will not be a supply run coming to us. However, a caravan came in that is well stocked, and they are graciously giving out food, clothing, and clean water that they can provide. Hopefully that will last us just a little bit longer, until we can get more supplies. We're going to have to sit tight, work together, and not lose our minds. Now please, go on about your day. The storm will be here for a while, I feel. So do your best to stay warm and dry." As she kind of looks satisfied with her answer, another voice calls out, "We don't have places to keep us warm. Some of us don't have shelter." You see Hasella make a fist. Looks like she is fighting a surge of anger before just a defeated sigh and her shoulders lax. Composes herself yet again, still remaining unflinching, and with a calmer but louder voice says, "Those who have the space have already opened their homes and have housed who they can, and the rooms available in the Black Lung Brew are free at the moment for housing more people. If you are still without shelter, we will try to find you a place for you to stay. Until then, please be patient. Now, if we're done complaining, I would actually like to get up to accomplishing tasks that will help you all. So move along." She stands now with a stern look at the crowd, and the crowd looks back at her. There's a bit of silence as the rain just falls down on all of them, and they slowly begin to split away, head in different directions throughout the town. Hasella runs her hand through her now disheveled silver hair and breathes deeply. As you all were standing off to the side, she looks to you, cocking an eyebrow at the whole group, and she seems just to wait patiently at the front porch of the Black Lung Group.
Do you have a knoll head?
Yeah, I just
hand me a knoll head.
Just lifts the knoll head in the air.
Lifts Satyr
Like a
to lift the
prize.
knoll head higher.
It's above his head.
So you lift it in the air, and she gives you a small clap from where she is. You're standing about 40 or so feet away, down the road from her.
Well, I mean,
Why are you looking at me?
I mean,
I don't know who this is.
Oh,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go walk
Only
on.
3 of you have
Yeah.
entered
Right.
and actually met. The
Fair.
rest of you
Yeah.
now just see a very tall, muscular woman. She's wearing the same garb as most of these guards, but it's much more patchwork. Like a shoulder piece is missing, just revealing a large, muscular shoulder. She has a long sword on one side and a very large flintlock pistol on the other. Silver hair, very piercing eyes as she's looking through, trying to get a quick read and judgment off of each and every one of you. And fingerless gloves as whoever approaches.
I imagine all of us as a party would approach, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay back. I'm just kidding. Satyr just stays back and goes.
As you approach, she goes, "There's certainly more of you than anticipated. And quite the colorful group at that." As she looks above all of you, once again, this group, in comparison to the half-elves, the occasional dwarf, half-orc, and mostly humans, the tieflings, the older, haggard, human-looking man, the dwarf in heavy armor, the satyr, who is not amongst you in the moment, the tabaxi, and the large half-orc with a great sword, most definitely carve a figure in the town.
What? No, we perfectly blend in.
Yeah, we're fine.
How did the mine go?
Well, there were gnolls at what looked to be sort of a beginning area, like opening area, where the manager's office is. Noel's there at the split, right side of the tunnel. I believe it was right, correct? I'm bad with directions.
Drums were coming from the left.
My bad, they were on the left.
You were
Well,
intelligent enough, or would you give a room for that?
I'm not intelligent enough to make out directions.
This
With the
one
L's
is
in your hands.
directionally challenged.
They
I
were
believe you could say all of you are challenged in some way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Walking around with a null head is probably not the best message for anyone that's looking at you.
points to the dwarf. He's vertically challenged.
Oh yeah, do you want the head? Do you want the null head back?
I was gonna throw it at her for saying that, but I realized I don't have it in my hand, so.
But
Yeah, you do realize that when you were trying to lift it, because you were not taller than your compatriots,
Yeah.
she could not see it past SAAKA or anyone else.
Also, I like how you point to the dwarf, even though, pun intended, he dwarfs me by a full foot.
you'll grow. But continuing on the down one of the tunnels, they were performing some sort of summoning ritual. I don't know exactly how to explain what they summoned.
I think we stopped the cult.
Our friend here, he can probably better describe or
A whole
really show.
cult.
There were about 12 gnolls in total, led by a shaman of some sort.
That's called rabble.
Yes. However, they were, as my friend said, summoning something with this.
As I lift up a sack,
It's some sort of flesh container. They were capturing travelers or townsfolk and skinning them for their ritual.
they
They summoned something like this.
and I take out the trinket of illusion, whatever the proper title is, and then using that create a
It's just a stone of minor illusion.
stone of minor illusion, like a 3 foot tall in my hands illusion of the black crow creature.
Coil size.
You see that she kind of looks to it. Her jaw is kind of hanging off to the side as she's thinking in a frustrated thought. Interesting. She kind of looks at the flesh sack. You can tell that even for a woman of her stature, she is not wanting to like reach a hand out to touch it. And is kind of looking interested that you have walked it all the way here. Is it dangerous right now?
The place is clear, and this is very dead. Whatever.
It was alive at once.
Yes. Its heart beat within it, and it was bleeding when our new friend, Barak, had bit into it.
There's another one of you.
He is part of another group. The gnolls had captured him, and were holding him captive when we entered.
There's another mercenary group in town.
Not a mercenary, just a traveler.
You seen the turtle guy?
I noticed him.
He's with
Part of
him.
his group, yes.
He walked in and immediately walked out of the tavern bar a little bit ago.
Good old Jesse.
She leans forward, looking at the sack, and then looking at the knoll head. Interesting. So that's what one looks like. Thank you. Would you mind if we took that off your hands?
By all means, but be careful with it.
Of course. She nods to one of the men who are standing next to her, and he puts his gun over his shoulder in the sling, walks down, and he reaches out very just not looking as he's reaching out for the sack.
Might want to plug your nose while you carry it.
I hand him the sack.
He goes, can't smell much due to the visor, but happy right now about that. He slowly turns. walks into the bar. You hear, oh, what the hell is that? You hear the just doors swing open and he walks into the bar.
I would make a great
Try not to
smoothie.
smile.
There's just low whispers as you can tell people are just trying not to shout about the unearthly thing that has just walked into their door. Was brought in. She goes, kind of grabs the bridge of her nose and payment, right. And she turns to the other guard next to her. And he stops, turns, and walks into the building. Within a few moments, comes out with 2 large money bags, pouches, as he walks out. And I guess one of the closest would probably be SAAKA or Care. So hands it to SAAKA. In between the 2 money pouches, there's 123 silver. Exactly.
I'm good. You can count me out of it.
In
You
regards,
can say that when they walk up to you.
No.
Because you hung back, right?
I'll let them know later.
Understood.
Now, can I still? Never mind. You go first.
No, of course. You're.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I am the
so
voice in the sky.
I am talking. I am in this conversation, correct?
You decided to hang back, but you can walk up at any point.
Oh, I was. Okay,
You were joking?
I was joking.
Oh, okay. So you're with him. That's no
Okay.
problem.
Okay. So when she comes back out,
She never left. She had 2 guards on either side.
Okay,
of her
well
when the
maybe
crowd
while
was here,
maybe
so
while the
she
guys
sent
like
them
get
in.
inside,
And-
CJ kind of pipes up and he goes, "No, you. I just heard you say one of those. That's what one of those looks like. What was that?" Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. Make a
Okay.
persuasion check.
Why are you so mean to me? Oh, 9.
9. She goes, that is not pertinent information for you. I appreciate the work you did. I did not expect to see one in this case,
Can I try?
but
I walk up to CAEDRIK and the sergeant. But if we find more, it would be useful information to know.
make a persuasion check. The DC will be higher.
19. Wait, no. 22.
You see that she looks down to you and she goes, you fared perfectly well by yourself, apparently. I don't think I need to share anything else.
I'm content. I don't care.
It's evident that you were able to handle this situation.
Because I failed.
DC goes up if you have a failure and someone else does it.
Oof.
It's not just going to be like, okay, let me try for the DC.
I have a -1. I tried, man.
I have a +9. You can let me do it. Now you're good. I'm just teasing you.
It's all good.
So, we appreciate being able to perform this service for you.
She looks away from Coil and looks to you.
Any new information in regards to the arsonist?
I was going to ask you that. Have you made any progress at all?
We've been in the caves the entire time.
Understood.
I was curious if the crowds...
You see, she like looks at you with a turned brow and then like looks up to the sky real quick and looks back and she goes, damn, you're fast. I might as well hire you.
Curious if something had happened. That's why the crowds were here.
The crowds, who obviously noticed a group such as yourself that entered this tavern and walked out, were more or less beginning to become curious as to what a group like you were doing in town and what your business was. I simply let out that you were here to help and may take care of the null problem, but as I have discovered throughout many years of this work, is that you may take care of one problem, but as long as there is even one problem left standing, that is all they will hear. That there is just problems all around. They got angry enough to come to the door. But this has happened a few times before. I'm a bit more steeled than your average rookie.
In regards to the paperwork we had spoken about.
That is if you bring me my arsonist.
Understood.
You killed some gnolls, hooray. We already had a bounty that was set for that and nothing added on. But if you find this arsonist and bring it to me alive, I will get you a passive casting.
Understood.
I can only get you my signature. You will still have to find someone of faith. If you did look, she notices, she goes, a simple cleric will not pass. A priest is normally what is needed. A recognized priest at that. And I'm guessing you're not one?
Nope.
There you go.
In that case, rest and then, once night falls, see about this arsonist. Yes?
What is your plan for that? My manpower is limited. And on top of that, it's not like you're the only things that will be coming through the north and south gates. So for the night, my plan was to man 12 men at each north and south gate. And unless she's really going to climb 300-400 feet up the stone hill that is the mine, there's no escape on the north or south side. But that means you would have to man the city or the town.
I'm down for that. I'm down to just walk around, see if I see anything.
There's at least 7 sets of eyes among us, and more we can recruit if necessary. I would suggest a vigil.
I normally would have troops join you, but considering that they only managed to see this person once, and they successfully kept her from leaving, I would rather my manpower is there. I myself will be walking through the town tonight to see if I can't see anything.
Shall we agree upon a signal of some sort, or is yelling enough?
This town is not the largest, but it would be useful if we had some sort of sign. Mine can be simple. I will start shooting at her.
What happened to alive?
I can hit her in the leg. You doubt my aim?
I would definitely not. I just wanted to be certain.
If you bring her banged up to me, that's fine, as long as she's talkable.
I don't know if I trust your folks' aim. I look around to those of you with ranged weaponry.
Mine was decent.
Except your aim includes no real, tiny tiny things. It will be a spear thrown through the person's chest.
Through the leg.
He
Take out the
can
kneecap.
heal her.
I can't wait for however long this is going to take for you guys to
Accidentally
stab her
impale a
and
child.
then heal her as quickly as possible to keep her from
It's a
dying. It's like she's in one piece.
That is almost exactly what's going to happen.
We can handle that.
Well, you said before that the arsonist seems to only attack at night, correct?
Excuse me.
You said before that the arsonist seems to only attack at night, correct?
The only time that we have had any sort of sight on her was at night, yes. But I'm assuming that she could be out and about doing whatever she wishes during the daytime.
So the only information we have.
That is, but it gives me a time frame. I'd like to try to get some rest before the night. That way we're not trying to find this person while exhausted.
It's about 3 o'clock, so if you guys take a long rest, it will be about 11 o'clock at night by the time you guys wake up.
I still have to go speak to Lux as well.
Do you need to go speak to Lux?
Let's go do that quickly.
Let's go do that and then I'll get some sleep before tonight. Hopefully we can wrap this up quickly.
Night will probably be the best veil for us, yes.
How do we know the arsonist is a woman?
My men reported that it was a small female figure, but of course
That
they are...
could mean anything.
Well, that could also be wrong, as most of my guards with me are human and don't have dark vision.
So all we know is they attack at night and that they're an arsonist.
And not
Agile.
giant big man person.
Exactly.
We also know that for some reason they are fond of using puppets as their method of arson, it seems.
Puppets.
Your intrigue is as strong as mine in that case. I know nothing other than that.
They're pretty weird.
Alright.
So if you see a child or halfling with an armful of puppets, you are free to do as you see fit as long as she remains alive and captured.
I'm especially putting that on you,
I can
because
keep
I'm assuming
going.
he didn't do that. She points to the head. That does
It
not
was-
count as talkable.
It was already dead after I did that. Not my fault. I can keep...
That doesn't reassure me of literally anything. The fact that it was already a corpse when he did that literally tells me that never mind.
I know how to keep someone barely alive.
Uh-huh. Alright. Good. So if any of you
Please
see
just
her...
ask for help.
If any of you see her and the arsonist together, kill her, because she will be a murderer.
Have fun trying.
Remember that this is a suspect. We
And
don't.
we need answers. And if you kill even someone who's done this, that is still murder.
If it comes down to them or me,
It's a child or a halfling or something.
As entertaining as it may be for you to beat a child in a fight, I would ask that you don't.
you may think they're a child, but if you see care
Let's handle
running
this
around,
later, SAAKA.
You see Hasela looks a little bit frustrated and just, you notice that she looks extremely tired. She might have not gotten any rest in the past few days, and at this point she's looking very fed up with this conversation with the resilient half-orc.
Hmm.
All right. Is there anything that's keeping you? Or do you need something else from me?
I
Because if
believe.
not, I would like to get some rest before the night.
Agreed. To Lux then.
Yep,
Yeah.
might as well.
So you're all heading to us?
Yes.
Are you saying doing anything as you are walking towards that area?
I'm good.
So, before we get there, we should consider whether or not we want to recruit Lux or Jesse and his group to assist us in this vigil. Or if we want to keep this among ourselves.
Lux would have the manpower, but I don't. As much hospitality as they've shown us, I don't feel like bringing them into this when they've already gone through a lot. Jesse would be helping not Jesse himself, but his companions.
Lux, after this, will not be with us.
That's ominous.
That is ominous. Know
Lux,
something?
possibly.
Your poker face may need work.
Lux and I may have had a discussion, and I feel that discussion is going to be talked with when we arrive to him. Just don't get your hopes up on recruiting Lux or continuing to travel with Lux.
I see. So is the understanding that we're doing this ourselves then?
We could see about Jesse, or at least some of his companions, at least.
I think that might be a good idea.
Hmm.
Maybe not Barack, though.
You're worried about me killing the arsonist.
Yup!
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, pretty much.
You as well are not off the hook, Wolfman.
Hey, don't call him that. Last time I did that, he cut my fingers off.
Yeah, and I'll do it again.
Just
Care calls
No,
you Wolfman,
no,
you
to-
cut off Satyrs fingers.
Take
What?
his hand.
Care calls him DATH'TAN Wolfman, and DATH'TAN walks up to Satyr just to cut off Satyr's fingers.
every time
Whenever
someone
he
says
gets mad, he just cuts off my finger.
Dude, after like the 100th time, no amount of cure wounds is going to be able to place those little stubs.
It's just scar tissue
Yeah.
all the way up.
Yeah.
Looks like just coiled up leather hot dogs.
And I call those fingers, good sir.
Ribs for flesh. I'm sorry. Anyway, continue.
Moving on. As you walk and find the caravan, pulled to one side of the road in a line, you do find the golden tiefling waiting outside his wagon up front. His jewelry piercings and his horns clinking as he turns his head in your direction as you begin coming down the road. His long white hair done up in a ponytail. His ruby red eyes meeting your gaze. He's wearing a night robe with a darker shade of purple and gold trim sewn into it. He looks to give you all a smile. And you notice that he's down on one knee speaking to ANETH, who's right in front, and he kind of pats her on the shoulder. ANETH slowly turns to you all and begins walking to meet you. And as she approaches, she goes, "Hi. Are you all okay?"
Yeah, we
A
were
little
just...
worse for wear, but otherwise fine.
Mhm.
How goes things here?
You see that she...
Thank you.
You're welcome.
that ANETH looks about you all and she goes, "I'm sorry about earlier. I froze. I shouldn't have done that."
Pause, yeah. There's like a dozen.
Yeah. Okay. To continue, now that things are quieted down, ANETH apologized to you all as you were sitting in front of the caravan for freezing when the fight broke out. When the fight first broke out, she froze and ran the other way.
In the mines.
In the mines.
Yeah.
When you guys were discovered.
Yep.
Yep. It was something
She
that
just
did-
left.
Really?
Yeah.
She froze and ran.
She just booked it.
I'm not one for direct combat, really. I'm sorry about that, though.
I go up to her and I hand her the 20 silver pieces. That would be her share.
Thank you.
Now you know for next time.
That there's money involved.
Mm.
You see Lux kind of looks to her with a smile. And he begins walking from his cart, his wagon, up to all of you. He gives a smile and... I, not want to linger on goodbyes. I stated to SAAKA, but I don't want her to be the messenger girl. I am not wanting to be... You told them, right?
I was vague because it's not necessarily my message to tell, but
You're right to do that. I'm sorry. Didn't want to put you in that position. He sighs heavily before rubs his neck. I believe that you all, the menagerie, will accomplish things others could only dream of. I really do. However, I have already begun to experience that danger will follow you at every corner. And I do have people that I need to protect, so please understand. I like you, all of you. As many times as you have created disturbing or weird scenes for all of us. I wish to meet you again down the road. Hopefully on better terms than what the situation we're in right now is. But in the moment, I would like for us to part ways.
Does that mean we did not hold up the end of our deal?
We did complete a portion of the job. We just weren't able to continue it till rent. Your concern is completely understandable. And I do hope to see you and your folks again in better terms.
You see that he nods and he goes, I'm a man of my word. Sometimes. But considering the circumstances, you have earned your pay. Give me a moment. You see he walks into the back of his cart, taking a few minutes before he returns with a small pouch of gold, 21 gold for each one of you as he hands it out. Except for SAAKA. As he kind of turns and notices the armband on you, and he goes, right. And then just keeps going down the line.
Big oof.
While I'm thinking about it, there was coinage amongst the gnolls, if I recall correctly. Did we ever divide that up at the end of that long session?
One of you guys had written it down.
I have it written down. I know
However,
how much
you
the
guys-
quantities were, but did we share them yet?
No.
Okay, in that case, let us handle that now very
Sure.
quickly.
Doing math for gold should be, or pennies should be a good thing.
I'm good
So
on the
it
copper and
was
silver.
20 silver and 5 copper from
I can double check.
Hasala. Correct? Is that what I'm understanding, Amy? Who did the math?
Yes.
Okay. And then it was 19 gold pieces, 43 silver pieces, and then 80 copper pieces from
That
the
sounds
gnolls, which we need to divide really quickly among.
7 people.
Those are presents.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
6.
assuming that Aneth, who was not even in the mines, would have gotten a cut of that.
I don't know if
Off
Brock.
of looted corpses. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then, Jacob.
So 8?
Barack is not with you in the moment.
So
I
7.
know, but do we need to pay him?
No.
Only if you feel like that.
If he asks about it, then yes.
I mean, okay. I'm
If he
not.
does not, it's not our problem.
Sorry, folks. You continue. I
No,
will
of course.
quickly
Yeah,
calculate this out.
Let's not just sit in silence.
Yep.
So, as that math is happening, Lux looks to you all as he's handed out the money and Kara's assorting it. You're going to reach great places. I wish to see you later, friends. He looks about the group of you. I'll lend you some fresh knapsacks if you don't want to risk the tavern rooms. Those beds look like they could give you 3 diseases on a single nap. So I will. And he turns around, awkwardly enters his wagon, and brings out a few fresh rolled knapsacks that he hands out. As he does, you kind of notice that he kind of has a look of realization on his face. And as he seems to remember something, and he goes, oh, and as he's handing out knapsacks, there's about 3 or 4 he has in his arm.
Cedric takes one of them. He definitely wants one.
No.
I don't know where you're going to be sleeping tonight, but
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Maybe a roof.
that tall crystalline fellow of yours left a little while ago. He was standing eerily amongst us for quite some time before he just turned on his heel and began heading out of the town. The guards didn't stop him. He marched his way out and didn't say a word.
We didn't say anything in general.
That is true. That is interesting, but we did not know his motives beforehand or now.
He'll be back.
Indeed. He
So
also scared the crap out of my work hands, so.
understandably so.
He was a man of no words.
4 gold, 1 copper each. Basically, it's what it calculates out to. And then
Sure.
a little bit of change if we want to worry about that.
I'll just take the gold. CAEDRIK is bougie.
Okay, let's
So you are all going to. The rain is still pouring, so sleeping out, even with these fresh knapsacks out in the
Oh, yeah, I
rain, is
forgot
probably
it.
not the best part. He kind of looks to you all and he goes,
Transactions. Which one are you talking
"Do you all have a plan?"
In regards,
One of my work hands was part of the crowd earlier today just to catch the news.
we need to find the arsonist. She operates at night, that much we know. I think our best idea is just to split up and take vigil.
Well,
Understood. He kind of looks about and he goes, "Are all of you alright?" He notices that some of you still have quite a few cuts and bruises.
I'll be fine.
just peachy.
We definitely need to rest and bandage up between then and now.
How long of a walk is it to the cave?
20 minutes to the
20 minutes?
mine.
Okay.
Roughly.
Okay.
Well, that was from the gate.
Yeah.
More or less of climbing the very tall hill up to it. But you guys are
30,
now
40
Mhm.
with town.
west part of town all the way there. Sounds about right.
Okay. I mean, I could just
What was the numbers
You
on
could just
the
go sleep in the cave.
on the
Are you saying
one
this?
from
No.
Dwarf?
I was
On the
talking
looted set, it's 4 gold, 1 copper.
1 copper.
You see that as he looks about and he goes, "You're welcome to take the wagons as cover from the rain if you wish to get rest before them. It's the least I could do,
That would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
of course."
Have you seen Jesse and his folk?
They're on the other side of these wagons.
Excellent.
I would like to go talk to Jesse. If I can, like, grab Zenrol or Levi or another member.
Zenrol?
Zen?
Who's
Wow, that's a force to have it.
And who's
Levi?
Yeah.
If I could grab,
Come on, you.
It's been
Kel.
5
If I can
episodes.
grab Kel. If I can grab Kel or
Not even like.
not Dath, not Dath.
Wow. 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 I'm
He's
hurt.
just picking through.
He's like-
I'm hurt now.
You, not you,
Yeah.
maybe you.
Screw you, you're cool.
And obviously, Coil's with me.
Push the coil in the mud.
I just want to make it clear that it's like a request from the whole group. If I can grab Kel's attention or CAEDRIK's attention.
What do you say to him? Or is it just visual eye contact and hoping to spread a message?
Shall we go and ask Jesse about his party and if they will join us?
Yeah, let's ask them now. That way they have time to decide.
I
Am I
You
coming with?
see that
It's up
would
to you.
like.
Lux begins taking off his nightgown to reveal his white tunic shirt, which is already from the base of the neck. You see the long scar that's already formed from the wound he gained. And he goes, looks to you. "I'll help you tonight." So he takes off his nightgown and walks back into his wagon, and you see that he grabs at the hilt of his falchion, the sheath for it, and begins tying it to his belt loop.
Once we get Jesse's attention and know whether he and his group will be joining us, we will brief you all on what we know.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Sure, I'll come with.
I would love to see Jesse fight the arsonist with the
I would like to
puppets.
see,
I would pay to see that.
like to see him run.
I would like to see
Can they do that?
I don't think so.
Oh. You accidentally turned it off with your
Yeah, I
phone.
meant to hit the.
I can control it from the phone, so just do
Yeah.
this or that.
But just sometimes when you're reading out the audios, I don't want to interrupt
Sometimes
you.
the toe is
I can go
far
with
more
the finger.
successful.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Anyways,
Oh, I thought the harpoon was on the other side. That's why.
as you go over to the other side of the caravan, from the road you already see the houses, some a bit scorched or burnt, others completely ruined, and others that are fine. As you go to the other side, you see Jesidiah now has this ghillie cloak that he had to the side where he doesn't have an arm is now kind of over his head like a hood as he holds on to his staff. You notice Barak, Brulda, and Endon are kind of sitting around just leaning up against the wagons, speaking to one another, each one wearing a bit heavier clothing, an extra cloak or something like that to at least keep them decently dry, not wet to the bone. Jesidiah's head slowly turns in the direction where movement's coming from as you all walk up to them. Oh, hello.
Hello, Jesse.
Ah,
The sergeant of this town has given us a task, and we wondered if you wished to join us in attempting to catch this arsonist.
what's the task?
We suspect that the arsonist may strike again this evening, and we wish to attempt to catch them in the act, and to provide them to the sergeant for questioning. If you are busy, I completely understand.
You see that he kind of looks about the floor and he goes, I believe that this caravan might not be too safe. I will stay here to help protect, along with Barak. As he turns, and Barak just looks to him and rolls his eyes, and just goes, so we don't have you walking off again. He turns to Endon and Rolda and he goes, but you two can go and help there. You see Brolda. Alright. She stands, Endon as well, pops to his feet instead of leaning from the wagon. And he goes, of course I will.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Brolda just pops her neck. Let's get this over with.
Let's go grab Lux real quick, I think is...
You see at this
Yeah,
point that he
debrief.
once again has his red poncho-like cloak over him with the higher collar. He walks out, his falchion at his side, and a what looks to be a covered torch at the moment, like a rag covering it just to keep it from being absolutely soaked. As he steps out of his wagon, he meets you all in the middle road along with Endon and Brulda, who are following you. The brown flower around her swirling, what looks to be made of vines and leaves shield. As you all walk together, you kind of are now just this amalgamation group right in the center of this road.
Okay, so this is what we know. Firstly,
Speak quietly in case anyone's listening.
yes, that is a good idea.
Can I do a perception check just to see if anyone's listening while the talk is going on?
Sure thing. So continue as he's rolling.
We believe the arsonist to be a young woman, a child perhaps.
25. 15.
According to what the guards and the sergeant have seen, they almost caught her once with a armful of puppets, so I understand, which seems to be her calling card or her method of arson. I do not know for sure. We believe her to strike this evening, and it is our intent to both stop her and to catch her.
Live.
Live, yes.
That means not dead.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know with you.
So we're Lux kind of steps over to you. So we're splitting up then.
Yes. Splitting up, and then if we see anything suspicious, quietly call one or two others over to assist you. If you for sure have her, or are pursuing her, then yell to get the attention of everyone else.
When I cast Sacred Flame, does it make noise?
That would be something to check in the spell. I don't know if it's like a thunderous spell that
I
makes
don't think it
hundreds
is just
of
because it's a
feet sound.
cantrip.
Yeah, I
What
believe
spell?
it's within a 5
Sacred
foot
Flame.
area.
I don't believe so.
I don't think it's silent, but I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
if it has a radius like that.
I can't even just cast it. It says flame-like radiance descends on a creature that you can see. So I would have to... So I can't just throw it in the air.
Oh yeah, it is on a target.
Unless you really miss your shot.
No, okay, never mind.
Okay.
I had plans to use that and be like, well, if I see anything, I'll just Sacred Flame in the air.
I mean, Shatter's probably one of the biggest hey guys.
What if it's a kid or a halfling?
Well, yeah,
You
they'll also
don't
just
care.
notice a flying corpse.
So, like, in the back of an alley, we see a flying corpse accompanied by a shatterous sound. And then we see Cedric running as fast as little legs can carry him.
I got him!
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Trying to heal him.
Okay. Brulda goes, well, oh my. Well, good. I've actually been getting a little bit bored. I'm glad that we have this moment to do this thing.
So, it is not a surprise later. What exact skill sets should I expect from you two?
You see that Brulda looks to her flail, her shield, and her chitness and nature detailed armor. And she goes, I can hit things quite well. You see that Endon goes, I'm what you call a bit more of a talker, so to speak. I probably will not be doing any sort of straight up confrontation, but I can at least use a hand crossbow I keep on me. Besides that, I could probably at least convince her to come quietly or maybe even peacefully.
That should be excellent if you can manage that. So, we have many hours until nightfall.
How big is this town exactly? Like, it's pretty small, so I understand.
It is not a large town. This is like a village town. It is the in-between.
Mhm.
It's not any sort of geographer.
Mhm.
I would say end to end. Probably little over half a mile or close to it.
Okay.
So not very, very long. There's nothing that would impede movement or anything like that or make it difficult terrain. So
Going by, like, that knowledge just in character, going to...
and that's you estimating
Mhm.
because you don't have like King Mind or anything that would directly tell you how big this town is. But that's just from you walking end to end so far.
Sure. Not going to, like, assign people, but kind of like, try and figure out amongst ourselves, okay, we need to spread out, here's where we should probably be spreading out to. Kind of like between the number of people that we have, which would be 7 plus those 3, so 10 in total.
10 people.
Figure out how evenly we can distribute those 10 people.
Taking note of something.
Sure.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I don't really care either way. I'm just gonna walk around.
Sure thing.
Do you want me to walk around without armor? So if I have to like hide, am I trying to hide and see if I see something I don't get noticed?
That is a question up to you.
Oh,
I do not expect us to fight this evening, but chances may always change.
sounds good. Sorry, I didn't say that in voice. I thought we were talking. It's okay though.
From building to building, it is not really a close gap, is it? It'd be further than what you could reasonably jump, correct?
It depends. Some buildings are like crammed very close together, making this place a bit close quarters. Others are anywhere between 10 to maybe even 15 feet apart. So each one, it can be seen in between like these either intersections or alleyways that someone could jump a rooftop to a rooftop. However, especially with the heavy rain coming down, it's going to be quite slick and not too safe. And most of these places are like very loose shingled roofings. So you figure that even if you manage to get a foothold, it could just fall out right from under you.
Definitely isn't good for city running.
So how big exactly is the city?
So to my understanding, he just said it was like about a mile in diameter, thereabouts.
SAAKA was having a nosebleed.
Sorry.
We could just all walk the same route, but at like different times, maybe. Because is it a circle?
Not really. It is a bit of a
blob,
ovalish shape, but overall it's a blob because the fence does not take a direct shape.
It super doesn't matter as long as we're spread out.
Exactly.
So someone takes the north side, the east, south.
Well, they're at the gates on the north and south side.
Okay.
So maybe less people on the north and south side and more people on the west and east side.
West.
Yeah. And then a couple people watching the center.
Do we go by ourselves or do we go in teams?
If we would
by ourselves, I think miles still a lot of ground to cover for 10 people with buildings and stuff blocking line of sight.
Absolutely.
We can quietly try and grab another person's attention if we suspect something is up, or loudly get another person's attention if we are actively pursuing. But I think traveling alone.
Okay. Understood.
Now just to figure out spacing on where we need to be to cover the most ground. As they're doing math.
Yeah.
I'll watch by the wall on the east side, kind of like where the mine would go to.
And then kind of goes, I'll take the church area, walk around there and see if I can't at least keep an eye on it, unless it's a target.
Understood. And then I guess at that point we negotiate or hand out what other areas people are taking based upon landmarks. We all have about like 530 square feet each to handle.
Are there other major buildings in the town?
Speaking to Endon, he goes, I talked around with the people a little bit. The Black Lung Brew, the Iron Shaft Church, and the Mind Up Trotters are the three main things that are within this town that haven't been burnt down yet. Besides that, it's just houses, people, certain just smaller houses used to hold supplies and mining tools and equipment.
That's a good point. Like
that's probably where we want to walk around.
Landmarks that are still unburnt. That's a good point.
The other question that we should have asked is any sort of connection between buildings that have already been targeted.
Yeah. Just thinking that.
We still can go back. Well, she's probably sleeping by now, but we can still go back if we so desire. Ask the...
I don't want to be shot. She's probably sleeping.
Still ask one of the guards. They might know something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like a Trenton or whatever his name is.
We need to get to
person who's talked to the people here.
That as well. I don't know if they'd be so willing to speak to strangers.
We still need to get some sleep.
That is true as well.
What Endon was saying, just for clarification, is that the places that are in this town, there's only 3 locations of import, and they have not been touched.
Strange.
Mind Up Trotters is a stables. Black Lung Brew is a tavern bar. And the Iron Shaft Church, as Endon explains, is a small blacksmith shop that is built into the side of a church.
Do we know what places have been hit already? Or is that something we would need to ask?
That's something we need.
I can go ask around the people.
That
Learn
would
more
be helpful.
details.
Let's get
That
whatever
wasn't really
information
a
we
question I had when I first talked to them.
Let's try to get all the information we can before tonight. I'm still getting enough rest.
Because if we need to just cover main places that have not been burnt, that could narrow down our patrolling area.
But we can figure out a reason or some sort of cause to target select buildings. We can narrow it down further.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see.
Maybe a timeline as well.
Should have asked these things before we left.
If we were smart and thought ahead, but oh well.
When they asked if we had a plan, the answer is always no.
We have a plan.
We have a plan
Improvise.
Well, the plan is figured out in the moment.
Yeah. Improv can be a plan so long as you plan to improv.
I like
So
that.
Did you learn that in an
one
improv
person
class?
each at the remaining 3 landmarks. Endon's already taken the chapel. There's the stables, and then the other one,
Black Lung Brew,
Black Lung Brew,
tavern bar.
and then
I will say, for the sake of expediency and helping of time, by the time that you guys begin, Hesela will have manned the Black Lung Brew area,
okay.
as that is where her men are resting.
Yeah.
If they are resting, because most of them will be at the doors, or the gates.
I'll head to the I'll head to stables if anyone's not there.
Go for it.
I'll be roaming around the stables area. I'll take it anywhere near there.
And then all the rest of us are probably just going to be spread out around those.
Yeah, I'll be on the east side over
Yep.
there where the wall is.
The east gate.
Yeah.
Towards the mine.
I'll watch by the east gate.
Okay. So everyone is splitting up for the night.
Yeah, after we've had our rest.
So yeah, go
Yes.
ahead and take a long
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
I have spells again.
Yay!
Spells. Lots of spellcasters in this group.
Ooh, woo.
I miss getting
Never
my
say
spells
that
back on a
again.
short rest.
Ooh, woo. Hey, hey, no.
While the long rest is happening, do you want to do something?
Sure thing.
Scary.
Scary.
I want to go speak with Lola.
You find her in her wagon as you all are trying to find your place to rest. You see that she's sitting up in her own knapsack, as it looks like her and her son are trying to take a nap. The brown-haired woman, there's flecks of a lighter shade of brown within her own hair. She holds the same tense look in her eye, although they have softened to her son. As she smiles, and the pale-skinned woman just kind of plays with the blonde-haired child's hair. And he kind of sits in her lap, leaning back and forth, to and fro, having his own fun. You can tell that just in this moment they're calm, as he looks, Kramer looks a little bit frightened of the storm right now. Kind of sits in her mother's lap as she holds them both in just basic baggy tunics and darker trousers. They sit, and as you walk up, a rain-soaked tiefling in heavy armor who has cuts and bruises all over him, Kramer's smile drops. So does Rala's as she looks up, and her immediate steel gaze glazes back over, and she sits there staring, waiting.
I just have 2 questions.
You can say them outside this wagon.
Okay.
group that you don't know quite the name, but I'm not trying to do anything to hurt you or your son. I just need to know where to find them. I guess a better start with would be
For 5 people.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
asking for the location
Yeah.
of group.
reiterating. I guess a better way to start this off would be High Moons.
She doesn't respond.
I just
The
want to.
group you're looking for are psychopaths,
I know.
sycophants, and fanatics.
Yeah.
Then why do you look for them?
Hunting one of them down.
Good. Who do you belong to?
I belong to Rune's Reign. Over in the Carrefour.
You see that she kind of pets Kramer and whispers in his ear, and he doesn't really know what to do at first as he kind of sits there, and he just kind of crawls behind his mother as she sits crisscross now in the knapsack and looks to you. And why do you work for them then?
I kinda had to. I had no other choice.
I don't see them hanging an axe over your neck.
I mean, I need to contact them soon. But the person I'm after, he was the reason why I had to join Rune's Reign. He's also a defector.
So you're not going after the cold grin then?
No. I mean, yes and no. I don't really know why I'm here. I just need to find them. Do you have a location, landmarks? I just need to know. And then I will leave.
Make a persuasion check. You're just a lapdog. I hope you know that. You are a killer. A thief. You will rather soon take the life of me and my child than wait for me to even answer. So why should I even oblige? If you're here to do is get it over with.
I never asked for this.
You didn't. Tell me, if you hate it so much, why do you bear their words, carry their name, and do their bidding? If you hate it so much.
Because I'm the only family that my little brother has.
So run.
They'll kill us.
They haven't gotten me yet.
Well, it's good for you. I loved him back at home.
How are your abilities developing?
Well, earlier today, after 5 years, I just now got control somewhat. So very, very slowly.
And they haven't killed you yet.
Not yet.
Tell me, because you seem to be answering every one of my questions so far.
I just need to know their location.
Which I won't give. You seem very confident that your brother is safe while you are here.
He is with the clerics at the town that I lived in.
Tell me, you know this rule's reign for 5 years, yes?
5 years.
Who do you think would win? Clerics or them?
Most likely then.
Just something to keep in mind. They do not care for you or anyone you care for. She stands up and you see the small vial hang from her small leather necklace as she steps forward and comes to the entrance of the wagon where you stand at the foot at, looking up to her. She looks down at you and she goes, "Take it from me. You get far away from them. Find your family and go."
You need it more than I do. I may be around, but I can still learn.
They will take everything from you.
Well, the person that I am following already did.
You will find that you will find things you didn't know you had. As she kind of leans out, looks to the road and to the group now that's speaking to each other. KELSION, CAEDRIK, ANETH, COIL. Don't let them too close.
I wasn't planning on it.
You can leave now. Walk away. She steps back and turns to her son. It's okay. It's okay, good. She begins walking back to him. DATH'TAN, who seems a bit of a huff and silence, walks back to the group. Okay. So you all took your long rest. You awake. The night is now over you. The rain is lessened, but it's still falling.
And the house is on fire.
Yeah, hellfire, everything.
Yep.
There is no smell of smoke, of embers. People are off the streets except for a few stragglers who still don't have any rest. They are doing their best to find any sort of overhanging of a roof or even a porch to try and sleep on. As you gather, you see Lux steps out of his wagon, along with Endon and Rolda, who are sharing the same wagon for cover for the rest. They all step out and look about and nod to you all, and begin to shoot off their separate ways through the small offshoot roads to the main larger roads to begin doing a patrol of their area. Are you all doing the same?
Yes, I'm taking COIL with me.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Leaving a 9-year-old alone,
Yes.
looking for a dangerous person, probably not the best.
For a 12-year-old that is probably taller than him. Yeah. Yeah.
That or Coil's gonna come back and be like, I have a friend.
This arson thing's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just give it a try.
Don't want him to accidentally get shot in the night by his seller or something. That'd be a yikes.
She's taught me this cool new trick.
Want to see?
Cast fireball. There was a Molotov cocktail.
What?
So yeah, spread out and search for clues, gang. I'm gonna have Heinz this as an owl.
We'll see you on.
Okay, so as you all separate immediately, I would like a perception check from each and every one of you.
Here's your dice.
I need a D20.
You want the Crown Royal
I
bag?
would love it. Thank you.
That's going to be a good one. Natural
Thank you.
25.
Undo
Yeah,
your
what's that?
bag.
Oh,
CAEDRIK is paranoid.
I'm distracted.
Okay.
By the way,
we'll
the
go around
bag
here.
doesn't open up.
Oh.
I'll start this end because I think everyone's made their rolls. So that's it. Okay. The earlier and just prior conversation leaves you very, very distracted. Not focusing on much, and you're in your own head, literally staring at your boots in the muddy ground as rain droplets hit the back of your head and your hair already begins to get soaked once again.
25.
25. KELSION, being as sharp as ever and all-seeing God, you walk about and you notice like rats are running through the road. You're checking the carts that are nearby as you're heading down the road, or even just the barrels or any sort of offshoot wagons, checking for these so-and-so dolls. Looking through, nothing so far. You begin. Is there a direction you specifically are heading?
I was headed to the stables.
Stables. Okay. So that's near the south gate, so that's where you begin to head. And where were you heading? Just in the central area, like where are you going to be?
Roaming around the stables.
Stables as well.
Yeah,
And
like
are you-
like an offshoot, like away from it, but so close.
So if that's the southern gate, you're going to be just a bit more south then?
Yeah.
So down the main road south. Understood. COIL, perception check, and where were you two going? I'll ask, because you two are up here. Just northeast, southwest, just give me a direction so I kind of get an idea of where you guys are at.
Not to the Black Lung, but within like 500 feet of it.
So technically a northwestern area.
Sure, okay.
Because it is west,
Sure.
if you're offshooting a bit.
Okay.
And I will notice, I will say that with perception checks, let's see what they are here.
21, and is it too late to give him bardic inspiration?
A little bit, I've already
Yes,
rolled.
yeah, it's normally something you do before they make a roll. They can decide to do it afterwards, but they have to have it beforehand.
Big oof, alright.
I'm 12, kindness is 16.
You do not notice it. I will say kindness if you tap into her every once in a while.
I trust her just to tell me. She has
Understood.
telepathy.
Yep.
Also, it's
As
either
we discussed, though, it's not verbal words she really speaks, as it is more just sounds.
it's before or after, but it has to be before.
But he has to have one.
You
Has
say
to
whether
have it.
it's rolled.
Yes.
Yes, but he has to have one, which he did not
Alright.
by the time he rolled.
Yep.
So it doesn't work like that. You can't
Good try.
afterwards be like, can I give him a bardic inspiration? But yeah, with the 21, and I will say with the 16, you at least get a sense, as more of a feeling, that Hisela is up and walking around her area. As you guys are walking northwest, as you are clearing through the area, you do notice that there are about 12 bygone guard just by the north gate alone, and there are 6 on the interior looking around into the street and 6 on the outside that are looking towards the road and into the gate itself. Because there is no doors or gate besides the north one, as you two discover going south. The east door and the south door, no gates or doors that would keep anyone from going in or out, only the north ones. This town is pretty piss poor for its defense. The walls itself are a little over 12 feet high and are just kind of whittled to a point to keep someone just from climbing over too easy. Okay. Continuing on.
I got a 17, and I'm heading.
Nice.
I know, right? And then I was headed more towards the west side.
So near Hisela, more
Yeah.
than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So you two in some roads pass and she gives you a nod without saying much as she walks around. In the rain, she's still doing her best to keep a torch lit. Every once in a while, you hear her cuss off in the distance and attempt to light it again as it goes out. As for yourself, walking around this western area, there are a few stragglers in this area more than not, possibly just patrons leaving the tavern bar and a bit more drunk, just walking about on the road. Some do carry bottles, which help you affirm this, but for the most part, this place is a tiny bit more active area of town, and you remain much more wary as there is anywhere from just 1 or 2 stragglers to even a group of 3 or 4 just walking about. Some places have like lanterns lit with the support beam stuck in the ground, or even some of the houses have them, and it's very much a nightlight district, as there's just small sources of light and kind of casting you in many different shadows and lights, each form intimidating as you walk past these civilians. And then 25, and where were you headed?
On the east wall.
The east wall. Okay. There is no walkway
Wall.
on said wall.
Just like on
But
the
you can-
east side.
Yeah, but you can walk against the fence for
Yeah.
sure.
I'll walk
So you're on
under-
the very east perimeter.
Yes.
Understood. Walking it, in that area, there's not much. You do notice that some people who there's no room for shelter for them are up against the east wall, like trying to huddle for it for even some angle of the rain not coming down on them.
Okay.
It is failing, as it is not coming from an angle, but pretty much straight down.
Okay.
They are doing their best to roll up in whatever sort of blanket or pillow they can form from their clothing or whatever, and attempting to go to bed.
Okay.
It is very quiet. There's coughs, some sneezes from people most definitely getting colds, but not much in the sense of fast-paced movement or anyone sneaking about.
Okay.
So, any actions you are all taking as you are going through? You know what, I'm going to do this because this is a bit interesting because you guys are kind of scattered about, pretty much doing a stakeout. I'm going to go from the highest perceptions down, and I'm going to almost treat this like a combat where everyone gets an action to do something as the night wears on. So the two highest
You have a higher
are going
dex.
to be. Well, no, it's not. It's not.
I'm just saying.
basing it off of the perceptions.
Oh,
so
okay.
the clerics, you guys both rolled 25s. What are you two doing? You're
Okay.
east. You're south. I'll start with you because you're alone in comparison to everyone.
I'm just kind of.
ANETH will help out the north gate. I'll say for that, just to help add some extra manpower over there.
Okay. I will just keep walking the perimeter. I'm just eyeing to see if, as I'm walking, am I walking behind like houses? Like, are there like alleyways I can see through as I walk?
Yeah. As you go, there is like one or two houses that are turned your directions towards the fence, but for the most part, they are facing inwards towards the city.
Okay.
Just small, basic square houses, some a little bit larger or longer, but nothing that is intricate or detailed at all. It is the thin wooden plank houses. Some have holes in them. The greasy filmed windows. This place is nasty through and through. Looking about, however, there not much.
I don't really have an action to do, so I really just just keep walking around. Unless if there's anywhere else like alleyways, stuff like that, or
Yeah, like I said, there are alleyways. Like there's enough separation in between each house, about anywhere between 10-15 feet, but there's plenty of space just to look out
just looking in between
into the road.
as
just
I walk
off to
my
your right.
perimeter. I'll probably keep most of the same perimeter.
So just walking back and forth between each end of
Looking
the wall.
in.
So yeah, you're kind of going from north to south against the eastern wall.
Yes.
Going back and forth, pacing.
Correct.
Like I said, there's maybe a straggler, most definitely some rats or other small mammals that make their way through the night street, but not much in the sense of what you would see as suspicious.
Okay.
I'd be trying to more or less hide myself, just trying to stay out of torchlight, so it
Make a
would be
stealth check.
apparent that I'm actually there. Not bad, not good. 17.
17. It's pretty easy. There are like small lanterns, no real torches that are like sticking out, but in the beams that are placed into the side of the road, it is a nail with a lantern hanging from it, and it does cast a bit of a spotlight right down onto the road that you are at. But you do your best to get into an alleyway and tuck in where you are completely in the shadows. However, you are a purple tiefling with silverish eyes and orange hair, with several weapons on you. So it is... You're not easy to see.
Yeah.
You are pretty well hidden, but you do realize that your head is poking out sometimes, and you subconsciously have to like, oh crap, and tuck back down. Where you are though, near the stable area, and it's like this offshoot road by the south with several other springing neighborhoods or different roads that string off of it on either side of the stables. It's like front and then on its flanks. It's very simple looking. It looks to be just this square stone home, a single, like not even like turn knob doorway, but just open and close. It falls by itself. There is a Excuse me. What looks to be small, thin wooden supports that hold up a hay roofing that is already falling in due to the heavy rain that has soaked it through. Cloth is under it, this white, dense, and taut cloth that's keeping the rain from just pouring down. It stretches out to what would be how you're facing it, the left side of the house. It shoots out and covers what looks to be about 8 stables in total, as there's just 4. They're like pig pens, just very tiny wooden boarded pens that go just about knee high to these horses, so they could honestly walk or hop over them should they wish, but they don't. They look decently healthy as they all sit there in a row of 4 each. There's an aisle in the center of them, but this house remains quiet, no lights lit. Whoever is in it is probably asleep. But as you watch it, once again, there's maybe a straggler or 2 that your eye catches and you watch, but there is no like sudden movement or dodging to an alley or things like that. They simply just walk down and look about, or maybe drunkenly stumble their way down the road. Not much.
Quiet night's a good night.
Karen and Coil, because you 2 are together.
I'm keeping kindness 100 feet above me, thereabouts, within range for her to ping me if she sees something out of the ordinary.
You kind of have to correct her at first as she begins pinging you about every single person walking through the road, but understanding that it is for a specific little girl. You get a few, as in there are children about. Kindness has plenty of dark vision, but even so, it is more just, you get the sense, child. So,
Kindness is just
old
staring at
man with
Coil.
a child radar sounds bad.
I was
As
gonna
she-
go somewhere more wholesome
as
than
you-
that, but
briefly will sometimes just tap into her or not. You do see that she's like, not like looking into windows and then flying out, but with a owl's impeccable eyesight from her height and distance. She like is turning her head back and forth, looking for at least smaller built people or children, peeking into windows or doing what she can to locate. However, has not found any danger, at least.
Okay.
If that is specifically what you're tasking her for. Suspicious activity.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, she has not seen anything like that. Coil?
I'm going to try to find a place nearby to hide that I would be able to
Make a stealth check.
get out of quickly if I
Okay.
need to say give chase.
Mhm.
Yeet. That would be a 11.
What's your passive perception here?
11.
11?
Yeah. Mine 16.
Interesting. Well, yeah. This is kind of to notice if Kara notices you wandering off.
I'm trying to make sure that he
So you are going to tell him?
yeah, or at least I'm not going to go too far out just yet.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Kara, you do notice that Coil is like beginning to kind of wander off. Walk away from your side.
Stay close.
I'm not going too far.
Stay close. Your actions earlier today mean I should keep you closer than not.
I can learn from my mistakes, can't I?
Prove to me that you have learned by obeying for once.
He goes to say something and then he just gives up. Okay.
Okay. So, unless you were like pretty much standing still or like kind of walking in a very small area, you will probably lose sight of Coil every once in a while. Like you can stay close, but to walk in between buildings or to actually take a good amount, Coil will lose you. You will not be able to keep your eyes on him at all times unless you have kindness like sitting and staring at him.
I'm gonna message before he actually fully embeds himself into his hiding spot. Kindness is above us and watching. All we have to do is stay close and give chase if necessary. Hiding wouldn't help us much. She's better eyes and ears than us.
I will say, because of the fact that Care saw you and kind of stopped you, I'll allow you another stealth check so you can try and get yourself embedded, because he kind of interrupted you as you were halfway through.
Is it
3.
9?
So
I'm gonna grab by his hood. We're going to keep walking for the moment.
He sort of nods. Well, he does nod, but...
I understand that this is boring, but it's for a good purpose. You understand?
I was going to say something, but I completely forgot.
You do see at this point from your guys' side a large group, maybe about 20 or so people, beginning to walk down the road towards you as they all begin moving. Some of them have torches, pitchforks, some of them have clubs, things of the like as they begin walking down. Everything good?
What?
Just sort of smiling
I'm just
at you.
confused.
And suddenly, lynch mob.
As they begin walking towards you,
Joy.
they just give you a nod as they kind of, one by one, begin brushing past you.
No luck?
We're keeping our eyes open for. Sella tasked some of us men to keep an eye out for.
Best of luck to you. Don't catch a cold.
Of course, we're gonna try and keep moving throughout the town. Any luck on your end?
Afraid nothing.
Do you have any information that would be useful for us?
I understand that they used puppets in the last attempt, but
We know that much. We dug them out from some of the different burn piles.
also apparently younger individual, but shorter, maybe halfling or dwarf. We do not know for certain.
It at least means that we know the same things.
I'm gonna keep walking because I have no information for them and they have no information for me.
Okay. Coil. As this group is brushing past you, this large clump of 20 or so people, you feel a strong hand grab onto yours and tug slightly.
I look to go see who it is.
As you look up, you see a familiar face, only to you. You see one of the men's face shimmer for a second, and you see pale white skin, yellow eyes, and part of a horn as he smiles and looks to you with a grayish pale hood. As he goes,
Danger!
Oh, I know who it is, so it's...
Your caregiver doesn't.
I look over to Keo and I point to the figure.
So I follow his finger to...
as you follow his finger, no one's standing there.
I'll be right back.
He runs off.
As soon
You
as...
feel the hand let go of you immediately when you pointed to him.
As soon as he starts going away, I'm like,
Kindness follow COIL.
You sense that she's kind of at your perimeter because you're keeping her only within 100 feet,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So she can't go further, but you're just keeping her in your range.
Yep.
As you feel her begin to circle around, you get a message saying, "Come to the nearby alley."
Do I need to roll anything to...
Worse. You hear another one. You can respond.
The nearest one?
Yes.
I walk over to it.
Okay. Immediately, no.
Yikes.
All you guys. As you sit there, slowly, almost like unveiling a mask from invisibility, is the envoy, who kneels down.
I'm gonna give him a hug.
It's good to. Oh. He hugs you back, his long white hair. He sits back and he goes, "How are you?"
It's been scary, but I've been okay.
I'm glad to hear it. I noticed. Remember, there are people looking for me. You can't just point me out.
I trust him.
That's good. I don't know him though. You have to realize is that I have to be very careful who knows who I am. I trust you, COIL, because you are my friend.
I'm sorry.
It is no. And he kind of touches your shoulder and he goes, "It's perfectly okay. I was going to see that you are all right. Is that one treating you well?" As at this point the owl flies over, you get nothing. And if you wish to, you can tap into kindness.
So, I guess my question is, how, from Care's point of view...
He did not go far. He just walked into an alleyway
Walked
maybe
into an
20
alley?
feet away from you.
And kindness flew overhead and saw nothing? Didn't
Absolutely
ping me?
nothing.
I would probably just assume he was going to use the toilet.
Okay.
I would probably...
It kind of looks like he's interacting with something. Like, COIL is like reaching his hand out and he hugged something, but it's like air, thin air. There's nothing there.
Message to
You
COIL.
kind of get kindness, who does not speak, but it's much more what the F, as it does not understand.
So to COIL, do you see something?
You see that he notices that, like, you do that, and he goes, don't tell him I'm here. Please.
I thought I saw a rat.
Please don't go eating more rats again. It's difficult to clean from your cloak.
I'm hungry.
We'll get you some bread after this is over, okay?
You see a small, pale gray flash COIL as he's holding now a piece of chicken in his hand.
Keymouse. I'm not actually hungry. I already ate a rat.
He wrist pockets it into the air as it.
Cool.
He sits down. Are you thirsty?
Not really. Thank you.
Of course. He just sits down next to you, his long cloak, almost touching your feet, as he goes, "How are you?" And at this point, he pulls his hood down, and you see the large, two twisting horns, the yellow eyes that are very kind and welcoming, his large smile, and the very sharp chin of this figure as he, "Are you doing well?" That one seems very mean.
He means well.
Okay, of course, I believe you.
He stops for a second before responding. Things have been kind of scary as of, lately, but
Scary. How?
the ship I was on got attacked.
It did.
Giant robot things.
Wow, that is a lot.
At that point, he just slowly starts to break down.
He touches your shoulder and he goes, no. You are very brave, I'm sure. You are strong. I admittedly so. I came looking for you. I'm glad I could find you.
He sort of wipes his tears from his eyes.
He pulls you in and hugs you again. He goes, "Yeah, it's all right, it's all He lets go and he goes, I did come to help you in a way. As I told you, Coil, you are very, very special. You just don't know all of it yet. It would be very hard for me to explain. You're very young. But of recent, I was just in the nearby area when I sensed it. Let me see your paw.
He just holds out both of his hands.
He smiles wide as he takes them both. You see his eyes go a complete cloud white as he whispers an incantation. And you see that through your palms, where your veins would be, white lines begin to trace up and glow underneath your fur. And with a flash, you feel just empowered suddenly. This surge of energy and just excitement rush through you for a second before immediately dropping. And he goes, this is one of your many gifts. You should, if I'm not mistaken, people around you, when you wish, may or may not listen to what you say with just a single word.
Ooh. His mind's just blown by all this. He doesn't even know how to respond.
Very special, like I said. I don't have much time to dilly or dally because people are looking for me. But I will stay in contact, I promise.
Okay.
Keep yourself safe. Robots sound dangerous.
They are.
I'm sure they are. Keep yourself healthy, please. Eat as many rats as you want.
He giggles a little bit. Okay.
Of course. He kind of looks about before he stands up and puts his hood back on. I'll see you later, Coil.
Bye.
Be safe. And he turns and his entire form becomes this mist ethereal as he simply steps into the wall to your left.
Afterwards he starts actually looking for rats.
Not too hard to find. By the time that it's probably been several minutes, and Coil has not returned to your care.
I would have kindness kind of just keep eyes on Coil while I'm more so in the middle main street area, keeping eyes out, watching the group with torches and pitchforks walk away, see if there's anyone else in the shadows, while kindness is just making certain that Coil doesn't get farther. It's basically I'm telling her.
You do see at this point, you get a message telepathically that he is hunting for rats.
I don't really stop him. I just let it happen.
After he's found one, he runs up the hill on all fours with a dead rat in his mouth.
He has mud covering him, rain that mats down his fur. His tail is almost like just back and forth, not quite wagging, but just shooting back and forth excitingly as he's caught something.
I do not know when the next time is. I will be able to give you a bath. Or wash your clothes.
He pulls the rat in his mouth. He holds it up to Gareth. I got this stuff. It was worth it. He then proceeds to devour the entire thing whole.
Oh my gosh.
Stuffing it in his mouth, the tail hanging out as he's slowly chewing on it. It takes a long while and he is chipmunking so hard right now.
Oh.
But you hear the slow grind and breaking a muscle.
Stop.
Crunch.
Smother bites.
This is the worst thing he's described.
I pat the top of his head.
Crunch, crunch.
Yeah.
Alright, let's.
The tail almost falls out and he has to catch it.
Let's get back to our task at hand, okay?
Okay.
Blood is already matting down, dribbling down the chin of his fur.
I take the bit, the hem of my long coat and wipe it away.
Aww.
Let's get moving.
Okay.
Okay, SAAKA.
Okay.
What do you
So, I had gotten an item from Lux, and I'm pretty sure that I had said
That you attuned to it.
I had
Yes, you did.
tuned
So your
to it.
perception is +1, and you can see invisible things within 40 feet.
Exactly.
Terrifying.
I just wanted to make sure that that was
Yes, it was attuned.
okay. That was said, and you knew that I'm using it just in case.
Make another perception check for me. What's your plus now with that item attuned?
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, not bad. You're a
Still
barbarian.
terrifying.
For a barbarian, that's not bad at all.
Has perception of 13 for a barbarian. It's not bad at all.
No. Natural 20!
It is not funny.
I am not lying.
23. I don't believe you are. 23. As you walk about and you are near Hisela on the west part, you do see something
Ooh.
with a natural 20. Partway through the night, you notice that you go from looking about the people, your hand like somewhat raising to your blade every time someone approaches, just paranoid as always, to keep yourself safe. As you walk amongst the people, you do notice after a while that as the activity dies down, that there is not more of a person as something floating above you, following you about a small ball, wafting mist and different energies, almost like small electrical bits, and it follows you with a slit eye, almost like a cat, just following you. It's about 20 feet in the air, looking down exactly at you, turning ever so slightly left and right to see if you can't squeeze out any more details.
So it's just...
It's almost like a drone following a few feet behind you, 20 feet above.
And I have probably no idea what this is, or
No.
anything at all of that sort. Okay. No one is around me, right? I'm guessing.
There
even
are a
with
few
our-
people around you, but they're like up against the wall or leaning against the porch or just sleeping on the porch. Some people in alleyways that are using what shoot off of the roof they can to like tuck into the wall or the side of this house for cover from the rain. Not anyone that you see that's like holding on to a spell while staring at you in the middle of the road.
And am I near any buildings?
There are several houses to your left and right, yes.
Okay, not houses, but like main buildings.
From where you are off, technically, west of where the Black Lung Brew is.
Okay. So, and then that's the only one. There's...
By your side, there's just the one. Slowly following you.
It's like bread pudding. It's really yummy.
Thank you.
More food.
Thank you very kindly, Mom.
It's really nice.
Okay. So, Saaka, as this thing follows you,
I will... So, and as I'm walking, it just follows. It's not doing anything. It's just following me.
Mhm.
It's not, and I don't see anything that could be related to. Okay, so I'm not going to acknowledge its presence. I'm just going to allow it to keep following me, but keeping a very close eye on it.
Mhm.
If it starts to, I don't know, because I'm nowhere near anybody, and I don't see anything that's somewhat suspicious besides the eye that's following me.
no.
Okay.
You do notice as this isn't technically in chronological order, this is just your guys' experience for the night. The mob does pass by you first, as it's swinging around before it gets to these two.
Okay.
They pass by you, don't really say a word to you specifically. They just brush past you.
Okay, that's fine.
The eye did not show up at that point in time,
Okay.
but now it is there.
And it doesn't react when I go a certain way or
It trails
direction. Okay, I guess I will just keep. I'll just keep going the direction I'm going when it showed up, and continue to be super vigilant. But I won't acknowledge it. Just pretend that it's not.
So you're in the west part of town.
Yeah.
And so that means you're just heading west.
Okay.
So you're heading towards the west fence wall.
Sure.
Okay. So as you go, it just continues to trail you.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
And I don't see, as I'm passing back. So I'm guessing I went to the west wall and I didn't see anything. I'm coming back, doing that.
Yeah, as you turn
Going
around.
more central.
Okay. Once again, more people trying to tuck into corners who haven't found any sort of shelter for the night. But it's been a few minutes now and it's still tailing you.
I don't see, what's her name?
Asella?
Yeah.
You can find her amongst this road. She's like shooting into like alleyways or coming back up to the main road and walking into any smaller offshoot neighborhood or just sticking to a central road.
Going to go find her.
Okay.
Yes.
Looking about, it's not too long as you see her pop out of an alleyway that actually you can tell that she was probably at a different part of this western wall and then popped out through the alleyway and you took a larger road. So as you hook from this L, she just pops out in front of you a few dozen feet ahead. She looks, nods, begins to turn and walk away.
Okay, I'll go find her and I'll approach her.
You see her.
Okay.
Her back is,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, as you took you're kind of like in this L shape, and as you pop back out to the central road in the west, she pops out of an alleyway and has looked to you and has just turned away and has begun walking.
Okay, well I'll walk up to her. Or try
She
to
notices
catch up
that you're
with
like
her.
trying to catch up and slows her pace a bit. Yes? Have you seen anything?
No. Have you?
No.
I'm
Nothing out of the normal.
So question about her. So she's just a soldier, right? She doesn't.
Just a soldier. She's a sergeant.
Okay.
And most definitely carries a different aura and look to her in comparison to the others. This would be one that, not Ewan specifically, but she looks intimidating in comparison to the others and their normal garb.
Okay.
All they look steeled themselves. She's one that looks like you, estimating with your abilities, you probably have the toughest time with her if this were to go down.
So I'll ask her, were you patrolling when the other attacks have occurred?
No, I was in the Black Lung group. ANETH, like I said, the patrol were the ones that saw her.
And they... I don't know exactly what to say.
Was there a reason you stopped me?
No. Just...
Then goodbye.
Okay. I'll just walk away.
Chit chat is for morning. Right now we're looking. She turns on the heel and begins marching down.
Well, nice chat. So no matter what direction I go to, I don't see anything, and the eye does nothing.
The eye just follows you. Several more minutes pass. After about 10 minutes, it disappears.
So I'm gonna leave the west side since what's her face is she's not very nice. And go. So you said the north and south side were the areas that were already covered, right?
They have 12 bygone guard on them. There's 24 people here. Technically, there's 11 and 12 on the north and south gate because Asella makes the 24th.
Okay, so I'm gonna go more east. Is any one of
Along the east wall, as you kind of see him popping into sight of the alleyways, you do see that CAEDRIK is just walking along the east wall back and forth.
I approach you.
Okay.
Have you seen anything?
Nope.
You know?
Nope. It's been boring as hell.
So you... Okay. Alright, well... You're a person of... Can do the little magic, I suppose.
Yeah.
You do the thing where things come out your hands, I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, so I have a problem. I think I have a problem. And you're the only person that I have found so far from our group. There was this eye following me, and I don't know what it was.
What? Listen. You might want to go talk to the therapist about this one.
Are you not helpful for anything?
You're talking about a fucking eye.
You said you could do the magic thing.
Yeah, I shoot fucking lightning. And I heal things. I don't throw eyes everywhere. I don't know what you're talking about.
SAAKA
Yes.
gets back. As you hear.
Okay, well, shut up about it. And I walk away.
What just happened? You Half-Orcs are weird.
You see this time as you walk away, and as you walk, it goes out of your range of sight as it's just staring down at CAEDRIK now.
As I'm walking away, it stays.
Yeah, it stays now locked onto CAEDRIK, and it's slowly following him in a line. And as you walk out of 40 feet, it vanishes out of your sight.
Alright, I'm gonna do kind of like a patrol almost all the way. So I'm on the east, and I'll go down to the south.
Okay.
And kind of, I'm just gonna roam it around the town in a circle.
Sure.
Seeing if I see it again. Just kind of see
Okay.
what follows.
As you walk, continue to look. Doesn't come back into your range.
Do I see any of y'all? Or them?
Down
Okay.
south?
Yeah.
Your passive perception means that you would not see KELSION, but you probably see DATH'TAN taking a wider berth around the southern area. And you see him not really paying attention to much. He's just kind of walking, looking at his boots, kicks a rock every once in a while, and just keeps not even looking about his entire... He's not aware.
Okay, so I walk up to him.
You are somewhat noticeable of at least the half-orc walking straight up to you. And she's not at her position.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're looking at your boots and you're kicking a rock.
I'm just having... why are you not at your post?
Don't worry about it. I'm
I
asking you.
am worrying about it. Why did you leave where you were stationed?
Shh. Don't worry about
Do
it.
you have a reason for being down here?
I wanted to see because how you guys were doing. Because I can't.
Oh, okay, what do you want?
Have you seen anything? Not that you were looking, apparently.
Really hope SAAKA's not the one laughing at death. And it's about to be brawl.
No, I haven't seen anything. Is there a reason why you're here?
No, evidently not. Do I see it around him at all? No. But be cautious. Don't give me that look. I'm trying to help you. You look like you're staring off into the distance and not paying attention.
I just walk away.
Okay, and I'll go up. Excuse me. Some south. So I'll go back up west and then I'll head up north.
Mhm.
Kind of doing a whole circle.
Sure, I get what you're
Okay.
As you begin walking, you walk with a bit more of a fervor and panic at this point. as you continue to walk, you head north, and I believe north would be ANETH along with COIL and Care. You are probably going to find a duo before you find ANETH.
Okay.
I rolled her stealth and your passive perception ain't even
So I do find them.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm a little relieved. Sock's a little relieved when she sees Care.
When I see her approaching, silently message, anything of interest?
You see he draws like a small trace across his lips and then begins speaking, and you hear him in your head.
I respond, I need help.
No.
Are you bleeding again?
Sorry. Lux gave me an item. I am seeing an eye, and it will appear, and then it will vanish. It will appear, and it will vanish. I saw it in the west. I saw it with CAEDRIK. Each part I go to, it either fixates on something or me, and it's following me. I don't know how many words that was, but yeah.
Alright.
I don't know what it is, and I don't know what to do.
I would like to make an Arcana check to know whether this eye is familiar to me.
I just love playing like SAAKA so much right now. Doing her best to keep her cool. She's like, where is it? Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, go ahead, make an Arcana check to see if you understand what she's talking about.
That is a 21 Arcana.
She is not doing a great job of describing it, but it sounds closely to what you remember reading about scrying, where someone from pretty much anywhere can begin spying on someone they at least know or have seen before or have knowledge about.
You're being spied on. For what purpose, though?
And with what she said,
I
you
do
do
not
gather that
know.
this means CAEDRIK is also being spotted.
It fixated on CAEDRIK and on me. That is it.
At this point, SAAKA comes into your view and seems to scan over Care and COIL before shifting past, and
I just stop talking and I stare very intensely.
you see her eyes trace above you and just watch like a pointer dog the entire time as her eyes trace something, and then her eyes stop tracing it and lock back onto you.
It's here, isn't it?
SAAKA nods.
You can
Okay.
reply it
Oh,
within telepathy.
okay. Yes.
This is a very strange experience for you, as I don't believe you've done this before.
That's why she keeps going around like, someone tell me what's going on.
It is watching and listening to us. We cannot say anything that it would not hear. If it's coming back to you, the person may have an item of yours or something, or knows you specifically.
Just my luck. What?
What I can suggest is going back to Lux. No, to the caravan with Jesse.
Jesse?
Yes. Because if the eye is following you because it has an item you have, or it knows you, then staying away from the rest of us may deny it information. Wherever you go, it sees if it is following you. That's maybe the case, however, that it's following all of us, if it has knowledge of all of us.
What is it?
You know how I have kindness, and I can see through her.
Care. I mean, sorry, not Care. You fall dead. Yeah, I'm joking. CAEDRIK.
You fall
Nice.
dead.
as you're walking, you feel you see a curved blade suddenly curl around your neck, much like the Khopesh DATH'TAN carries, but thinner, much more sleek, and you feel something cold press up under your plate armor. It's like someone slipped it up suddenly with a 27 stealth under 25 perception. You hear, I can hit you with my bow.
I don't move. I'm very silent.
Good. You're going to play along, or this will end poorly. See, I was sent first. Just test you all. The 8 will send their regards soon. But for now, I'll go with you. I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw. The AC is going to be decently high.
That's fine. Thanks to that one.
1d4 days for when the first one.
25.
That just makes it.
Thank God I rolled a red
You see a shine of some sort of item that this character now carries on his belt begin to glow, and you feel yourself almost being pulled into something. And you, above you in the storm, the thunder roars, and you remember who you serve. As you stand your ground and you fight against its will, the pull stops suddenly, and he... Fine. Rocks, we got a fighter. You hear from a nearby alley. Fine. You'll go with us then. Stepping out, you see from the shadows a large and grizzled half-orc man. His head of hair well kept. Overall, he's actually pretty handsome, and it's a surprising look of what you'd expect from this dark character. As he steps out, he wears this thick hide that almost curls down his entire body, but it's almost like leather, how much it's been beaten and cut down to. Just this black, dark hide across his entire body, what looks to be a somewhat furred, somewhat scaled gauntlets. It's almost like a mix of a large beast and what you would recognize being a dwarf as a dragon scale across his gauntlets. You see that one part of his face is completely almost blotted out, like burnt to a crisp of ash and flakes as he sits there. The eye still looking good, although completely blotted out. He stands and moves closer and he goes, "Now, I'm going to ask you a question. And if you answer correctly, you get to live today to die with your friend Sin later. Do we understand each other, Dwarf?"
No.
He stands right over you. This man would tower over SAAKA. As he stands there, you feel the blade and the dagger leave you, but he goes, "Don't be mistaken. I can take you out if you even go up a notch in your volume." You see the one that was referred to as Rocks looks down to you.
Mm-hmm.
From his belt, you see that he pulls what looks to be a vial of blood that is turned completely black. And he goes, "This lets me know when one of my men went down. Had one of my closer compatriots," as he pulls another black vial of blood, "do something called scry. And he saw your little merry band take out my boys at the mice docks. He drops all 5 at your feet. Now, I'm not too happy about that. So, I'm going to give you a chance. Who's in charge here? Out of your little merry group."
I
can't really do like a lower version of his voice, so I'm speaking in a lower
stage
tone.
whispers.
I'm stage whispering. I don't really know. We don't really have anyone in charge. Necessarily.
That is disappointing.
I have no
So
idea what
looks
he's
like
talking
you-
about, correct?
He's asking out of your little group.
No, about the dogs. I was not.
CAEDRIK was there.
Yeah, you were.
Oh.
You rode in on a horse with ANETH to go.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
our first
Help out.
battle.
Session 1.
Yes,
I wasn't there session 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cedric was there, Lane was not.
We killed a whole bunch of people on the beach.
Five slave bandits. Slaver bandits.
To be fair, they attacked first, if I
That's
remember
true.
correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I don't think he cares.
Oh, well.
What I'm going to offer you is going to be one opportunity. See, the scry was partially successful. Lucky you. By your reaction, I guess that we at least have one of the correct ones. We don't know who all of you are, just some of you. You're simply going to point out who's who. And you get to live tonight. If not, I will kill you. But before I do that, I will make you watch as I break every single one of them. Unless you'd like to see that, I suggest you play along.
He nods. He nods and he says, "Who do you want to meet first?"
What did I see? I saw a half-orc woman. I saw a dwarf man. I saw a human male. Is that correct?
Yep.
Feel free to make a deception check for me.
Oh, wait a minute.
You said that.
Does he even know what I am?
I know you're human.
No.
Could that be a persuasion check? Because he believes that he's human.
Either way, times one.
16. As soon as I say that, I kind of stop my voice. Like,
No. He's different. He looks to the being behind you. Rella has him in her sights as far as I know. She can take him out and be out of the city in no time. See, Rox raises his hands and he goes, I want him to, but let's make this last a little bit. You see, he gets down on one knee just to even get to your level. Because even hunched over like this, he only meets your size. As he goes, let me get this straight to you. You will lead me to them and only point them out, and even for a second, I think you have won them. They are dead. You get to live. Do we understand each other?
I nod.
Good. See, we have certain proprietors who don't want you in the business of this arsonist until she's done. So there's a win-win. I get what I want, which is your heads, and they get what they want, which is you out of their business.
I nod.
I'm glad we've come to an understanding. I tell you this in confidence for the fact that you are a corpse anyways. You're a dead man walking. Lead the way. As you just turn over your shoulder, you see a smiling mask, flat and plain with just 2 eye holes. You see a jester hood, small bells hang from each one, but are completely silent instead of jingle. A long, thin khopesh and dagger, along with several oranges and purples that run down the multicolored, very interesting and colorful character. But he seems elusive, slender, and he snuck up on you.
Okay.
You see that he goes to the rocks, and from where he stands, he seems to almost teleport into a nearby shadow. You simply just see his form, and he begins to walk down.
Okay.
Today, you become a special member of the Heinous Eight.
He kind of chuckles a little bit and keeps walking.
Go ahead, lightning boy. I'll follow.
All right.
You see from where he is, he gets down on one knee and hops up almost the height of the building, and you hear up on the roof.
Is it too late to cast Pass Without a Trace?
That's where we're going to take a break.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
I do not know what this
So,
voice is.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue. So, Satyr,
Yep. Okay. So
where are you leading them first?
yes, he's on the roof, correct?
You, at least out of the 2 of them, because I rolled again, you do not see the other one, and he was not named. However, you do see the one that was referenced to as rocks up above, and you just see his large form disappear as he lies low onto the angled roofs.
Do I know anyone to be on the south side besides
The south side
of our team?
Oh, that would be KELSION and DATH'TAN.
Okay, I'll walk towards the stables.
Okay.
Good luck seeing me.
Go ahead and make another perception check.
Okay.
Please don't see me.
I'm so sorry. 26.
You see him. Actually, you're kind of walking up behind him as he's looking out towards the stables.
Bro, I'm doing good today. That sucks. So as I get up to him, I kind of, I walk up to him like, shit. I'm not very suspicious at all. I'm just having trouble speaking this as a person. But I'm looking at him. Hey, what's up?
What are you doing over here? Shouldn't you be other end of the city?
Go ahead and make a perception
Town.
check, KELSION.
It's been a while. I haven't seen anything. Was just wondering if anybody else has seen anything.
So that is 13 plus. I believe that's gonna add up to 18.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's higher.
So you turn around and
Yep.
face Cedric. You notice just out of the corner of your eye, because you match his stealth right now, you see the slowly forming from shadow Jester just behind KELSION.
You seen anything?
If I've seen anything, you guys would know. How about you?
Nope. That's why I'm coming around looking. Where's
You bored over
you
at your
see that.
station?
The bells seem to jangle, but still make no noise.
where's the wolf one at?
Around? I know he's somewhere around here. Not too sure on his actual location.
Okay. Isn't he nearby?
Yeah. He's not directly right in sight right now, but you figured it was given to him that he would be traveling around the southern area.
Okay. When I get kind of close to him, I don't want to go right up to him. Him specifically.
Mhm.
But I want
Nothing. You see just the form. shadow away.
And I'll walk. I'll kind of walk towards. Like
You see
on
DATH'TAN
the
is
south
a
side.
bit more towards actually the south gate, as he was near the stable.
Okay.
The stables are very close to the south gate, but from the angle Kelsion's at, he's only seeing like
Do you
the
do you
face of
think
it and past.
is he in earshot?
DATH'TAN?
Yeah.
If you yell,
Hey Wolfie, you seen anything?
I yell back, no!
you see
Why
that-
are so many people leaving their station?
you see what looks to be a taller figure in a large poncho, like as he goes up against the wall and flicks his hand at you. You hear, "Oh, you should not have done that." And he just keeps walking down the road past DATH'TAN and just continues to walk.
All right. I turn around.
Okay. Make a perception check. I'll give you a chance. I'll read out the stuff.
Yeah, 17.
You feel two fingers caress your neck,
That's cute.
like you to make a con saving throw.
$16.
16. I actually need to check that. Give me 1 minute.
And you're dead.
Oh yeah, probably will. It's con. 18. I'm stunned, or I'm just the big dead.
I'm just doing quick math in my head. Apologies.
I'm making damage, aren't I?
You just succeed. You just feel the two fingers trace, and for a second you feel your throat clamp, as if you wouldn't be able to speak. But it immediately releases.
I'm spinning around and drawing my blade.
Nothing there.
I run up to CAEDRIK.
I'm walking towards,
He's walking at this point past Kelsion's alleyway.
and I'm gonna head like northwest area.
Still running after you.
You see that DATH'TAN's quickly like jogging up to you.
What? You see something?
What was that?
The fuck are you talking about?
Something's going on. Just felt someone touch the back of my neck.
Behind
And
DATH'TAN, you see the tall figure rise up, and a hand goes towards a hilt on the back and just grabs on. And he's allowing you to see him. But you do see Rocks just looking, waiting for you to.
Wasn't fucking me. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Did you see anyone behind me?
I would have told you if I did. No. I'm not that fucking stupid. I'm not smart, but I'm not that fucking stupid.
You can make an insight check on another place.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll a deception.
Not 20.
Oh, that's cox.
So a 19.
Well, natural 20 is natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I rolling
So, yeah, because of ability checks, what is it total?
Total 21.
Due to homebrew, a natural 20 on a saving throw and stuff like that, and an attack roll is automatic, like success or a crit. This is like add
So
up
I got a
that
19.
amount, but a natural 20 is still a natural 20, so I'm going to take that into account. And yours is 21?
Yeah.
Okay. Strange math. He is skittish, but you feel that that is natural in the situation given right now. You guys are looking for a possible threat who is known for explosions. So he seems quite nerve-wracked.
You didn't see anything behind me.
No.
Where are you heading towards now?
I'm just going to check to see if anybody else see anything.
Where exactly?
I don't know, make my way around, head up.
First SAAKA and now you. Okay.
You see Lux kind of walks from the other side, rain pouring down on him, torch in his hand, and he looks over to you all as he's been making rounds throughout the town. Slowly begins to approach. Everything alright?
I mean, yeah, I'm just seeing if anyone's seen anything.
Alright. I've had no luck as of yet. You?
Nothing.
Alright. Let's keep looking.
Sounds good.
He turned on a heel and begins to walk.
I want to follow Lux.
Okay. He
Quickly.
goes back to the southern gate and he notices you following. Can I help you?
I will lean in and whisper. I felt something touch my neck, and it was like I couldn't speak, but I got over it.
Did you just, pull a muscle? Constrain yourself?
No, someone touched my neck. Turned around, there was no one.
He looks around with his torch.
There's I don't know. Satyr yelled at me. He yelled towards me, and then that happened.
Interesting.
Then
Are you saying he's not to be trusted?
I don't know. But him and SAAKA have both left their station. I don't know what's going on.
I'll inform Captain. So, alright, you say.
I'll continue walking around.
And you
Is-
see he splits off and he's heading
As
west.
as I start walking, I try. He's not looking at me anymore. Okay, I look up to the roof. Is Rox there?
You see that he is remaining low, but he is existent. Yes.
I look at him and I mouth the word yellow, and I say no.
No reaction.
It's
No
fine.
response.
It's fine.
You see that on his gauntlet, he pulls what looks almost like a stone pen or writing utensil. Writes something on his hand. Slips it back into his gauntlet.
Okay, I turn around and I start walking towards the northwestern side. I'm not trying to. I don't want to walk on the edge of a wall. I want to walk in the middle.
So you're heading north.
Yes, I'm heading north.
That leads you to these two. Coil and Care. At this point,
Is Coil
you see
with
the
Care?
large figure with the poncho. It's like a large straw hat made of a cloth that is firm with a strong brim. You can't quite see the face as it's angled down, begins walking on your flank. And he, as he does the same little trick again,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear in your head, "We have a crossbowman staring at your friend. You will take him out right through the throat. Be careful this time. Don't raise your voice."
I keep walking.
He, as he does it one more time, and in your head we go, you hear, "We're not a big fan of competitive mages. We'll just take him out for the hell of it."
Okay.
You begin to approach, and he just turns left and walks down an alley,
Mm-hmm.
leans up against it, slides down, and tilts his hat down as if he's going to sleep.
Mm-hmm. So as I approach, do I notice that Coil is with Care?
He is.
Okay.
With what remnants of look to be small bones on his cloak.
Okay. I don't acknowledge Coil at all. I'm not gonna speak with him at all. I don't even want to look his way.
Okay.
I walk up to Care.
So as I would see you approach, I would do the same thing as I would with SAAKA, which is message out to you.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? CAEDRIK.
Was just seeing if you seen something. Was getting a little bored over there.
Nothing of interest.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a perception check, COIL and care.
And kindness?
Yeah, kindness can. If sure.
She would be 100 feet above us, thereabouts. First for kindness. Okay, that's for me. Okay. 17 for kindness, 18 for me.
Okay.
Yeet. 19.
19. Using your passive perception of 26, you tie this jester-like figure again.
Holy shit.
You see him from another shadow below out and is slowly approaching, avoiding any of the spotlight or casting light that the lanterns produce as he slowly stalks without making a sound towards COIL and care. Kindness sees nothing.
Okay. And okay. After that, I will turn around and I will head back towards the east wall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
I invoke the dragon.
4.
14 plus.
Okay.
I believe it's only a 1, so 15.
15. That's a fail.
No, that's a plus 3. I have proficiency in saving that, so that's 17 in total.
Not enough of a fail.
Okay.
Try for the chat.
There is a glowing light that begins to cast a shadow on you, and you see your shadow stretching onwards down the road suddenly. And you begin to feel strange. Like just a tiny bit of panic crests up into your chest. And before you turn around, you feel a pull and your breath leaves your body for about a second as you just see your entire body begin to glow. You instinctively try to call out, but nothing happens. And COIL, what you see are almost like these white light chains cover up and almost snake into Care's throat and get pulled in. He disappears. As you turn next to him, you see this jester-like figure kind of look to you and go, and raises this medallion from the belt up at you. I'd like you also to make a wisdom save.
I'm so glad I was not outed as a caster yet.
Yeah, you're a man with spear.
19.
Total?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fail. You succeeded by a little bit. You failed by 1.
Ooh.
The same thing happens to you as the light begins to emanate out of the medallion. He looks to you and goes, "Shh, it's okay. We'll join you." The shadow doesn't even disappear at this point as he just looks to you. Lead the way. Anyone left?
I shake my head no.
Make a deception check.
They already know about her.
Yeah. They don't know about ANETH.
Oh yeah. 17.
With an insight check.
God, I hate to get rid of charisma.
Very well. Feel free to come after us. You'll be a treat. sheaths both. Goodbye. Okay. You hear heavy footfalls onto the road. Rox now stands just a few feet away from you from behind. You did well.
Is that it?
Turn to face me when I'm speaking to you.
Turn around.
Good. Well, honorary member, you've done your job. We'll get what we need. As for you and your friends, we'll come for you at a later time. We'll probably get the answers we want from the two, and even if we don't, we'll just have some good old plain fun.
Can you take me instead of the kid?
You see a large smile come across his face.
It's a fucking kid. Please don't fucking torture him.
You think that's the worst I've done? Look at me when I'm talking to you.
I never took my fucking eyes off you.
He leans in real close, his forehead pressing up against yours, almost pushing you down. What did you just say to me?
I don't know these people nothing.
So you sure seem to care about the boy.
Yeah, for one reason. It's a fucking kid.
So you really trade places. Very well.
Why not?
See that he takes the same stone pen, writes into his hand. Excuse me. And the writing seems to seep into his skin within a minute. He's back. Pulls the medallion out. In the darkness, even with your dark vision, it's hard to make out the details of it. And he goes, ready.
Yep, take his hand. Or grab the medallion or whatever.
So you're failing to
I
say no
autofill.
for this. Okay, you feel the chain wrap around you and you're in.
Okay.
The night's uneventful for the rest of you. Morning comes. Gray skies. The rain has died down ever so slightly. But the morning's here. No arsonist.
Yes, head back to the caravan or wherever to meet up. Just try to regroup.
You see Hasela is now along with Endon and Grulda and Lux as you all gather up. But 3 of you are missing. Aneth also comes a little bit later.
Aneth, where's your
She's
girlfriend friend?
white as a ghost. They have them.
Who is they?
People. They didn't see me when I saw them.
Can you give us any more descriptions of people?
Scary. Terrifying.
That narrows it down.
Yeah. Greatly.
I only caught a glimpse of them. I saw CAEDRIK speaking to them, and then he touched something, a medallion. You see Hasela and Lux are looking at one another and back to her, and your non-compatriots of this group are looking amongst each other.
Did you hear anything that they said or anything of the sorts?
They chuckled when he went into it.
That's okay.
They weren't gonna give him back. He's already seen them.
Cedric's stupid.
Common sense.
He has a 9 intelligence, bro.
Criminal 101.
You see that, and it's like, we have to go after them, right? It was creepy as hell, Jester, and a half-orc stands almost 2 feet taller than SAAKA.
It's not a lot of information to go off of. I would like to help get them back, but without further information, we're kind of at a dead end.
I saw them head out the north door, but one just leapt over the damn fence and the other disappeared.
I guess.
But Hassela's like, okay, pause. What's happening?
Well,
We're missing 3.
That part is clear. What the hell?
I don't know either.
Gestures to Aneth. Aneth just visibly shaken once again.
let's head to the sergeant. Maybe she knows any sort of locations up north where someone could possibly hide.
As you all can walk in. Sorry, what is your destination again?
The sergeant, so probably the...
Hassela's with you.
Oh,
That's what I was saying. She was the one who piped up.
I missed that for some reason.
As you say that, she goes, right here.
Sorry, just deep in thought.
No problem.
Do you know any sort of... Do you know any of these descriptions by chance?
Explain them to me again. And she goes, Jester, weird baubles on his hat. Orange, purple, I think. Maybe darker shades than that. A mask, a creepy mask. Half-Orc was just large, covered in hides and scales. A burnt face. And Hassela goes, that's rocks. The other one's just called Tella.
What other
You're being
connections?
tracked by the heinous eight.
There's always got to be something.
Literally out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah. What to do? Can't ask the old man for any help because he's not here. This is not good. Do you have any sort of inkling on where they could possibly be headed? Any sort of caves, hideouts, well-known like bandit camps or anything like that?
As far as I know. At this point, you see Jesse kind of curl the corner of the wagon. He goes, what was that I just heard? How many of you have been taken? Never mind. As he looks about the group.
You seem like you probably know this area a bit more. Do you know anywhere that someone could hide caves?
It's the first time I've been to Totar, my friend.
I came here on a crash ship. Anyone has better information than I do.
Out the north door. And shakes her head, yes. Out the north door.
So our only lead to get them back is going north. That's what I'm guessing.
You see Jesse just looks to you. What?
It's a direction, but it's a vague direction.
ANETH.
This group wants y'all, right?
As far as I know, I thought they only wanted ANETH and the other cleric. I don't know what their dealings with the rest of our group is.
Isella kind of crosses her arms and goes, to the Heinous Eight only wanted 2 of you.
That's as far as I understand the situation, but I could be wrong on that. I've been kind of out of it, so I don't
You
have
are
all
there,
the
Saga.
information.
Okay, because I was wondering, because
Yeah,
it
You,
cut, it literally...
you were not kidnapped.
Okay, well, no, because I didn't know where I was, because it cut from him and I talking to me nowhere. So I didn't know.
Well, you turned and walked away.
I didn't. I was still in the middle of conversation with him.
You were.
Yes, I was. But anyway, that's said and gone now. I didn't know if I was here or not, because I didn't know
You
what
are.
happened after conversation.
You are.
Okay, anyway.
I'm sorry, I believed your conversation ended. That was my bad.
No, we had braked, and then we hadn't been able
Understood.
to finish. But that's fine. I didn't know.
Would you like to make a wisdom save?
I would love to know. When they were here to find CAEDRIK, he told me that he knew that CAEDRIK wasn't here, or was there. And on his way out, he talked about the Heinous Eight and said that they are not the one that killed people on the beach.
Wasn't it a different group that searched the caravans?
They had warned us about the Heinous Eight, though.
Okay.
They had told us that
You
the
see Hisela
Heinous-
just buries her head in her hands and she goes, so there are 2 groups looking for you.
There is the one that is warning us about the Heinous Eight.
You are just full of battlements.
I was being scryed on last night.
And you didn't think to warn anyone?
I did, or I tried, except it kept following me. So what am I supposed to do? Tell you in front of you that this little eye is following me?
Might have been on the...
What do you
Better
think I was
alert.
doing last night?
I don't know. I didn't see you until this morning.
You saw exactly what I was doing.
From the right, you see a bygone guard rushing up, almost at full speed to Hisela, and she goes, easy. You recognize at least the chin and voice of Trenton, who was the first guard that met you outside of the Black Long Brew. And he goes, Sergeant, there's a strange door outside the northern gate. Message. His hand shakily goes up. Piece of paper that Hisela quickly takes, unfolds, rolls her eyes, and flips around and points to you guys. As she kind of squeezes and the paper somewhat curls up to the now ruffled corner. You read a message that simply says, come and get
This could not get any worse. Nope.
This
Never mind, take that back. It's going to get worse.
It's
is
most likely
pretty
going to get
bad,
worse.
you know. The only person I told about the scrying was Care. But it was fixated on CAEDRIK.
You talked to me. Did you see it from me?
No, but I went from place to place to place to see who or what it was doing. I had no idea what it even was, and Care told me that someone was scrying, tracking our every move, and he said to go back to the caravan to be away from you guys. So that's what I did.
Well, as much as we traveled with them, I'd like to go with them back, at least just out of common courtesy, because it's not going to be good to leave anyone there. If they're in that magical door, is there anything connected to it, or is it just standing still?
Trenton goes, There's a large wooden door. Just sitting there.
Have any of the guards tried to open it yet, or no?
One did.
What happened to him?
We haven't seen him.
I guess that door's meant for us.
It's meant for someone, and looks like us. So.
Jessica goes, I'll grab my bag.
We should probably get a couple supplies ready
Slowly
beforehand.
turns and begins walking. Brock, we got a job.
I love Jesse so much.
You see that Brock turns the corner, bottle in hand of alcohol, and he goes, what? Oh yeah. Hey. I was in and out, I got most of it. I get to kill things.
Most likely, yes.
Kill things, rescue a couple people, be a hero.
Wait, we're heroes now?
Not exactly.
Yeah, right.
But if we're saving people, kind of. Even if they are our own teammates.
What? Whatever.
Within a few minutes, you see that Jesse begins to slowly stumble his way towards you, heavy foot by heavy foot. It has been a while, but I can take the form of certain beasts as I walk. I can lead us through with a pretty good fix on things, should you wish.
Would COIL know where the group has met up at this point?
Coil's with
You're
Yeah.
trapped.
He
They didn't
never
release you.
released you.
He never released you.
Did they not?
No. You think they're gonna release someone who has
Cedric-
seen what they are?
Satyr got played.
It was obvious you were gonna get played.
Satyr has a 9 intelligence, man.
Okay, because they made it sound like
What?
You play true?
I did.
because they made
I
because
know.
I did
it sounded like
It sounds
COIL
like
had gotten
true.
freed from it, but
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to be a little aesthetic. I'm sorry,
No.
man.
I know. It just
Didn't you and your
It's like-
integrity?
It's like,
God.
It was
like-
very honorable.
It's like watching a rerun of a TV show. You know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen, but you can't do anything to change it.
Don't go that way.
Don't go
Okay.
through that door. Literally.
the spooky door.
Just let the three of you roll new characters.
Yeah, if you didn't want a
Please
divination
don't.
wizard in the second cleric, just ask.
That's all this is about, guys.
See, our DM hates clerics. He's classist.
There's no way I could plan for who got captured in what areas or
I know.
how it could roll.
I
This
know.
was all dice.
Okay. So,
This is as much as me rolling with it as you are.
I guess to the sergeant, I keep forgetting her name. Keep forgetting Estella. To her, I'd say, I know you're spread thin, but if you can surround up any extra men, maybe put up a defensive barrier in case anyone besides us comes back out.
Well, there's already one man in there, so I'd appreciate if you found him.
We're gonna try to get everyone out, but if there's something that comes out that isn't us, I'd rather not be able to just walk free.
Fine.
And then, as for menagerie, I guess, much as I'm not really the leader, but gear up and get ready for a battle.
You
More or
say
less.
it with such confidence.
You see Aneth kind of
I've been
looks
up
to
all
her
night.
daggers. She sees them and puts her hood down. Finally, her paleness somewhat subsides as you see that she begins to steel herself like she has a purpose.
Okay.
Guess we'll take Jesse up on his offer.
You see Jesse and
The rest of us are
Barack.
also.
Brock grabbing his warhammer and slamming his fist against it a few times. All right. Jesse goes, try not to get yourself killed. Don't tell me what to do, old man.
So,
So it goes, so you're going?
I am at least going. I don't know about the rest of the group, but I think they will too.
You won't make it. You
Maybe
see,
not, but we have to
walking
try.
from an alleyway, it's a large human male, brown hair, scraggly but full beard, and bluish green eyes. Begin walking towards you. He has dark leathers that is patched in certain places and covered with a large hood and torn green cloak that hangs from him. It's almost like a poncho now, as much as it's been torn up to. Carries a very well-crafted longsword at his side. He rolls up his sleeves. I owe the dwarf. I am Jaros. He steps forward, hand out.
So you're
the Jaeger?
He looks to Hasela, who already has her hand on her large flintlock, and he goes, "No."
You are
I
the
guess
one.
We're talking about someone else.
Why are we in so much trouble? We might need to kill you
The
afterwards.
Yeah, I'm blaming the dwarf.
He simply turns. I will turn myself in after. He turns to Hasela. Looks about the men. Looks to him. Your guards were easy to lose. They're on their way back. You'll have 12 more of your men here. I didn't hurt or kill a single one of them. Dwarf covered from me. I swung round when I caught scent of the heinous eight. I was going to track them, see if I could lessen their number, but they stayed ahead of me. We can do the full introductions later.
I don't know if we're prepared for this, guys.
Well, we need to go get those 3 back, don't we?
May not be prepared, but we've got to give her our best shot.
You see Hasela is still thinking it over as she has her flintlock pistol out and down, just staring at him. Two are just locked, either one waiting for the other to move. You go in, you help them, you get out. I'm slapping cuffs on you. Fine. See, he turns, kind of pops his neck either way. Her name is Jaros Brooklyn. I am a Jaeger.
We already knew that.
Slept.
I owe her, as he looks to Aneth, who's looking up at him and smiling, a big dumb smile. And he looks north and he goes, I owe the dwarf. After that, my business is done with you. And if I can, because I realized what was happening, I will get the 8 off of you. Draw them to me. This will be a good way to get their attention.
Since they technically are after you.
Everyone's after me.
I feel that.
Are we prepared?
I'm ready.
Let me grab a couple weapons and I'll be fine.
Try not to throw them all at nothing.
No, my
Next
fault
time.
if they're not a couple feet in front of me.
I examined the door before I came looking for what was left of the group they were running with. Got a small look at some of you back at the caravan. That door leads to a prison. Arcane in nature. But theirs in particular is different, changed. It's not just cells or chambers in a prison, they're entire rooms. Miniature planes, each one of them. I have no idea where they will be or how big this thing will get.
And we better start now before it's too late.
Indeed. Shall we then?
Yep. Start heading towards where the door was spotted.
You see that he just begins to silently walk ahead, moving at a slower pace than most as he's looking about the streets. Estella looking angry that she's letting this happen. Just watches as you all begin to head out. You head out the north door, and what looks to be 200 feet, you already begin to see the makings of a large arched wooden door. A single one. A massive metal handle ready to be turned and opened. Which it is, slightly ajar already.
I thought it was a door.
Sorry.
Gosh.
The detailings of metal ivory surround the trim. It sits silent, just a small gleam of light. The guards look at Jaros strangely as he walks out. He walks up to the door, opens it, looks at the rest of you. Ready?
I'm ready.
Mom,
Three.
all the time anyway.
As he draws his sword. 2, 1. He steps in first, his body being flashed with a bright light before he steps in.
I'll follow right behind.
Mom borrowed time anyway. Walks through.
No time to do this.
You walk in as well, DATH'TAN. Following behind is ANETH, who closes the door behind her. That is where we're going to end tonight's session.
You're so
my
punny.
My mouth
Oh
works
my
for less than 20
God.
minutes. Neither you or me really said a word.
Yeah.
You're